Xin Zhao, and welcome to the VCS Spring 2021 playoffs. Yesterday, we saw Saigon Buffalo beat Cerberus in the first semi-final match to claim their spot for finals next Sunday. The question remains, who will they be facing? Today's best of 5 series will determine that as our regular season winners GAM take on the tournament 4th seed of Team Secret. I'm Yusuf Milkisiro bin Sahel, and I am delighted to be joined on the analyst desk by David Mabinogi Moss and Lucas Quincy Krings. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me virtually, and I hope I find you both in perfect health. Now, I want to dive right on in and talk about our tournament favourites, GAM.
Well, GAM, what can we say about GAM? They had a stellar regular split, but as we know, they tend to always have that. But, well, their record was kind of insane this time anyway. They went 26-6 in the game record department, 13-1 in the match record, and yeah, I mean, we all know Kiaya with his Na, with his all strong side picks. He pulls out the Renekton, the Malphite, whatever he plays. And yeah, there is no close second team either to them. And they are actually, what you pointed out, the second fastest team in all regions that qualify to MSI ever. And yeah, you could argue maybe the fastest team of all teams in the world that have like a shot at MSI.
That actually have a shot. The only team faster than them is Mammoth in the LCO, who went 1-13. So, not very good. Not very good.
Well, GAM are coming in off a 26-6 game record in regular season, a 13-1 match record. But that loss, Murby, was a 2-0 loss against Team Secret back in week 4. Surely if any team can knock GAM out of playoffs, it has to be Team Secret.
That's what that would suggest, but you look at their other matchup and Team Secret got rolled. Because you have to look at that first matchup and say, okay, GAM in game 1, they were probably not in a great position to win that game anyway. They could have gone 50-50. But the fact they had to give up, they had to recall their AD carry, sell a GA because they bought it on Samira when that bug was still rife. That led into them losing the game. How much impact? It doesn't matter. They lost the game. Then they lost 3 bans into game 2. They were clearly tilted out of their minds, and then they lost that series just 2-0. So it's a huge, huge asterisk. But there are very good players on Team Secret. They have the core of the low-key team that went to Worlds and took a game off down 1. They have the in 2019. They have Slater, who was back-to-back champion last year. So They have the core of players that could take down GAM, but
well, I'm glad that you mentioned Slater, because I feel like the ADC role is one that I particularly want to highlight, and I think there is a lot of discussion that can be had around it, because Slater's coming in as, you know, the 2020 VCS champion, having won Spring and Summer Split for Team Flash. He's moved over to Secret, and Style is coming in after just one competitive split in the VCS last summer with Saigon Buffalo. He's now over on GAM, so it's almost like the experienced ADC taking on this kind of new rookie, or almost, that is looking to topple the old champion.
Yeah, for sure. Slater, he is kind of one of the key players for Team Secret, I would say. He has not had that good of a year as he had like last year and the year before that. I mean, his 2019, 2020 seasons were really insane. And it is up to Style to kind of match that now, because he's kind of like the rising star, as you said. And I wonder if Slater, maybe today he might still be like the linchpin for Team Secret to take it over to GAM, because Slater, his champion pool looks a bit better than the one of Style, and maybe that's like what brings it home for them.
Yeah, I think with Style, he's right, as you said, he's rising up. He was one of our worst players last split, just in the entire league across all positions, and now he's hanging with the best. He's looking very good on GAM in the new lane with B. He's given GAM a lot more of an ability to carry from the bot lane, where in the previous years they just abandoned it entirely and used Easy Love as a little bit of bait on a string so Kiaya and Levi and DL1 could run Rampage. So, unfortunately, yes, as sort of mentioned, Style's not the biggest threat, but he provides that extra card or extra page in the playbook that GAM can play around, make things happen, try and utilize an actual carry threat down the bot lane. They don't have to play towards top and mid.
I think it goes to show somewhat that if you put a little bit of love into some of the newer players in the league, they can go a long way. And there is no role that gives more love to an ADC than the support role, because I do want to discuss, the bot lane as a whole, because it's not just the ADCs in the bottom lane. We have to talk about the supports. I have to bring that up as a support main myself. I've got to do my fellow players proud. And I want to talk about the GAM duo of Style and BA versus this more experienced duo of Slader and CBL. Because, Marby, this isn't just experience either for Slader and CBL. I've already highlighted the fact that Slader's coming in as the VCS 2020 champions, but don't forget, Slader and CBL, they were a duo in Spring 2020 for Team Flash, and they won Spring playoffs.
And that's part of the reason why we ranked Team Secret so highly at the start of the split. We thought this bot lane's coming back together. They look so damn good. They were far and away one of our best bot lanes in the league. And we haven't seen that same impact. Slater's kind of fallen off. CBL as well, not having that same playmaking potential. He's trying to get out on the map, much more active than across the lane. And B is much more lane focused. He always has been, even back on EVOS. And that has helped shore up Styles' main weakness, his early laning phase. And that has led them into quite a few 2v2 kills. And you can see that somewhat reflected in the stats for the sports. Like, high KDA from B, 5.3, first in the league, but 9th among supports in kill participation. So he's staying in that lane. He's helping Style survive and shoring up that 80 carry so he can get into the team fights and he can actually have a big impact and be a carry in the later stages of the game. Whereas CBL, much more middling across the way, and sort of 4th in both those previous stats mentioned. He likes to roam. He likes to get things happening around mid and the top side of the map.
Yeah, for sure. And there's one thing about CBL that's kind of a bit outstanding. He is an absolute fresh god, and you either need to be prepared for it or you just need to burn it out, maybe even in the first rotation. And because we have seen Team Secret picking it up very early for him, and that might be one of the tools for Team Secret to really get the bot lane ahead. Because, well, we kind of know GAM likes to play around top side, and if they, put the bot side on the weak side more, and CBL is walking the lane with his fresh, it might get troublesome for GAM.
You put CBL on any champion with a hook, and God knows what can happen. We'll speak more about our predictions for the series later, but let's head on over to the jungle. Levi against the DNK, and we just have to talk about Levi, right? He's played in the LPL for JDG, he's played in NA for 100 Thieves, he's been around everywhere. There's a reason why this man is the king of the jungle in the VCS, Marby.
Yeah, 2017 was the year GAM made their splash on the stage, and everyone's eyes tunneled straight onto the jungle, straight onto Levi, and he's sort of never let off the gas pedal. I mean, he kind of did because he was on the bench a lot in NA and in LPL, but since he came back to Vietnam, he came back to GAM, and GAM has just been topping the board ever since. They've always been first or second, and a big part of that's Levi. He's fit into jungling metas fantastically with picks like Karthus, picks like, I guess, Graves last year. He's shown up wonderfully on Olaf and Hecarim. He's always been good at those ganking junglers. I mean, the Lee Sin in 2017, he's still got that potential. He's just a fantastic jungler. He's always been at top 1, top 2, and his only things that have dragged his team back is when he gets overconfident, like last year, not picking up that Lilia when it was busted by summer finals. And now that has humbled him. He's picked up, he's willing to play whatever, and he's just back to being the best jungler in the league by a fair margin.
Yeah, he surely is. And what he is also known for, he is a very huge fan of another Vietnamese jungler who has been very stellar in the past and the very recent past. As we know, World's finalist SOFM is like his idol to some sort, I would say. He's playing Nocturne in solo queue quite a lot in the recent times. And yeah, there's the thing, right? Because DNK is known for his Nocturne as well. And with Levi picking it up, this pick in particular might be what is really contested today, especially with Nocturne rising back to the meta right now.
Yeah, I do have to sort of flame DNK a little bit for his Nocturne. because he loves it when paired with two picks in particular, Camille and Twisted Fate, because in those cases, Nocturne can play the Nocturne second man in. He hates being the first to the punch. He always needs someone to hold his hand, be it CBL, be it Coated or Nagir, be it Artifact. He needs someone to make the engage first, then he follows up. That's why his success throughout his career on picks like Elise, where he's just waiting for the initial CC to land so he can follow up with Cocoon, follow up with damage. And that is DNK's main failing, but they play around the Nocturne. They love those drafts. So, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with the Nocturne pick. We actually saw it getting picked up in the LEC yesterday. I won't spoil for anyone who didn't see the series between G2 and Rogue. But let's move on over to the top lane, because for GAM, Kiaya has been on the team for more than any other player. And for a team that has 3 new players to the roster, surely having someone who's been on the team since 2018 is critical to be able to keep a team identity, Marby.
Yeah, Kiaya is a fantastic player. He can play carries and he can play tanks, so he's more than happy to pull back and be that weak side player if you want to sort of integrate new players into the team and make them feel comfortable, which we definitely saw at the start of the split. But as the split's moved on, he's moved more onto these carry champions. And him and Levi, these 2 players, you can just have them in, plug and play any other 3 players in your bot side, and you're probably contending for playoffs. You can have, who's probably our worst 3? Let's see. We could probably pick maybe Blazes, Shine, and Bizbo, just the GLX bot side, stick them in there. You're probably still looking at 4th or 5th, because the top jungle are just too good.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that top jungle is very undoubtedly the strongest top jungle in the league that GAM have right there. And yeah, you mentioned that Kiaya has a very vast champion pool. With Coded, it's kind of not the case, I would say. I mean, he has basically only played carry so far. And the thing is with Kiaya, Na is rising into the meta right now. His Na has been absolutely unstoppable so far. 7 games on it, 6 wins of those so far. And well, the thing is, you need to either ban the Na or have a direct answer to it, and that means a counter pick like the Camille, like the Irelia. And if Coated doesn't play one of those, the series might be over right there.
Okay, now that we've spoken about the individual matchups, I want to talk about overall 5v5, and I want to get our wonderful analyst predictions. Now, because prediction integrity is a very serious thing, on the count of 3, I want both of you guys to be telling me which team you think will win. So 3, 2, 1.
GAM
3-0.
GAM 3-0.
Yeah, okay. So both of our analysts here then going with the GAM 3-0. And well, we'll have to see whether our analyst predictions are right. Everyday and Yulway are ready to agree. All of you lovely viewers in the caster booth for game 1 between GAM and...
Desk is doing champ select. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry to ruin your throw, but...
Sorry, Milky, you are not stuck in here with us.
Yeah, I'm still stuck in here with you guys. We get some more time to discuss stuff. We've got the Renekton, Kai'Sa, and Relbans coming through from Team Secret. And for GAM, Seraphine, Tristana, and Thresh taken off the board.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see sort of more what the the opening pick is going to be. The Udyr makes a lot of sense. It's actually, no, it doesn't make a lot of sense when Hecarim is open. I think Hecarim is just a better version of Udyr, and either way, that sort of jungle pick just provides you a super strong pick without showing anything of what your composition is going to be. So it's up to GAM to actually make the first sort of showing of what they want to do, and it looks like it's going to be the center.
Yeah, it looks like to be the center. Seraphine has been taken out, so the Udyr wouldn't be as broken a bit. Maybe you can like use Karma as like a substitute for the Seraphine, who has like the same utility aspect that the Seraphine brings, just without the insane ultimate. But Senna Tam Kench, I mean, some may have been sinning and watched LCS last night, where like Team Liquid was absolutely smashing the Senna Time Kench lane. It's still very strong in the current patches, and yeah, you need to be ready for it. And the thing is, for a weak side bot lane, it's kind of a deal because this is a very safe lane. Not really much can happen there in the 2v2, because even if you like hook the Senna Time Kench is ready there to devour her up and brings the safety back to her. And I just wonder what Levi's answer will be to the Udyr, because Lilia would be still available, and as you mentioned, Avi, the hacker win.
Yeah, definitely lots to go on. Team Secret, I imagine, would be looking for their support picks. Things like the Set and the Leona sort of come to mind as the obvious picks for CBL. We don't have him with very many defensive supports. The Karma has been locked in. That gives you a lot of flexibility as well. It can go top, it can go mid. It's probably more likely to go into the hands of Artifact than Coated, but it's an option depending on what GAM wants to lock into the lane for Kiaya.
Haven't really seen Coated on anything like this, but maybe it's actually the way to win, because if they go toe-to-toe with each other, Coated and Kiaya, carry versus carry, like 9 out of 10 times I would say Kiaya would win, so maybe giving him the Karma and just letting him like lose lane gracefully and have him later still be relevant in teamfights might be the way to go for them. But I also would agree that Karma is likely a mid laner support pick, and the Hecarim comes out for Levi, as we kind of saw coming. Lilia would have been another option for him, but Hecarim, of course, the next, I would say A to S tier jungler that's on the board for them. And we haven't really touched the mid lane matchup that much. I mean, both mids have a very huge champion pool, and I could totally see Artifact going with the Karma.
Yeah, Artifact has a whole potion. Sorry, you go on.
Oh, I was going to say, because in the top lane we talked a little bit about Kiaya and how he does like these split pushing champions. What do you think we could be seeing coming through from him? And are we going to wait to see Kiaya coming picking his champion on that R5, having the counter pick into Coated?
I think it makes a lot of sense. With the amount of picks that Artifact has available, you can just it's something that if you show your mid laner to it, if you show your top laner, regardless, Team Secret can pull out anything. That Artifact just has too many champs to choose from. You realize that Karma's got to go somewhere, and I think looking to make it so the Karma top is a less attractive an option is better for GAM. Sorry. No.
And it's not really a CBL champion, I would say. I mean, he likes those hook champions, as we said before. Most of the champions are like, aside from direct hook champions, it's Galio, Set, and Leona, and of course Fresh Nautilus, with the Whale currently also in priority, but Whale is of course banned here, and his Fresh is of course the first target button we saw out from GAM there. So the Karma is still not something that I would see on CBL, or would not like to see it. Well, he played one game of it, didn't really know how that went, and Galio was just taken away from him. So Galio probably will be the pick for Kati, I would say, because I don't see Galio being anywhere played but mid at the moment. Sometimes you can see him, of course, in support, but we already have Tahm Kench there, so that's out of the window. And at least Artifact gets a good matchup with the Twisted Fate there. It's also one of his more iconic picks, I would say, and he has a pick where he at least has a good laning phase on it, I would say. And now the draft kind of unfolds for Team Secret, because they now have to show us if they or how they will flex the Karma, and what the answer will be for Kiaya, who gets the royalty R5 pick for him to counter Coated there.
And with this Scion pick, it opens up some of the spicier options for GAM. The Thane would be interesting. It's not a very Kiaya pick though, so the Aatrox makes a lot more sense. And it signifies to me that we're probably going to be seeing a lot of probably a lot of bot side action from GAM. You don't really want to be trying to gank the Scion that much, but a Jinx Karma should be punishable.
And I just saw Yulwei over in the casting booth getting very excited at the sight of a Vayne hover. Sadly, we don't have it locked in, but we still have this Aatrox. It's still a monster team fight, though, from GAM, and they have this Senna that is going to scale into absolute oblivion, but it's still matched by this Jinx from Slater. So I actually want both of you just to talk a little bit about this bot lane matchup. Let's start with you, Quincy.
I mean, as I mentioned before, Senna Tahm Kench, there's not really that much going on there. I mean, in the early game where Senna hasn't really farmed up the souls yet, and Jinx has the buffed up rocket launcher, she will probably outrange him, and Karma is a support champion that is like stylistically very good into Tahm Kench to get the early priority there. Maybe the first two Drakes are like given up by GAM, but this is the VCS. I don't think there's ever an objective that is not contested by both teams anyway, so that might be not really a very strong point on this side. But as the game goes on, I think this kind of swings in the favor of the Senna. She has a problem though, while she has a bit of a utility aspect in her kit. And the DPS is kind of stronger on the side of Jinx, especially if she gets excited later on in the team fights. If they start with a takedown on the side of Team Secret, it might be tough for GAM to play into it.
And Marby, your quick thoughts before we head on over to the casting booth for the start of the game?
Ooh, yeah, I'm looking at both these comps, and in terms of compositional strength, I think they come out pretty even. I like the idea of GAM focusing a lot of attention to the bot side to try and keep Jinx down while isolating the top lane matchup so Ki can smash it. And on that basis of pure player skill, and with that, if that's their simple game plan, I would be saying GAM should take this game.
GAM to take the game from Marby. This time, though, Everyday and Yulwei are ready for us in the casting booth as we jump into Game 1 between GAM and Team Secret.
Of course we're ready. We couldn't be more ready, more excited, more raring to go. We had a banger of a series yesterday. That was me and Marby, and I'm so glad to be back with Yulwei. Oh boy, this should be a fun series. I think the draft is great. What's jumping out at you?
Two things come to mind. I'm also very focused on bot lane, not only because I'm a Senna one trick basically, and I love seeing Senna on good teams, but also because Marby is not casting today, and we have Jinx with Conqueror. That is some nice irony. I like it.
You hate to see it.
But yeah, on a more serious tone, this is a very exciting draft, especially for Team Secret for me, because everything in this early game is focused on wave sync. This is something GAM is better at than anyone else in this league. They had the perfect game against Cerberus in 19 minutes where they just abused perfectly synced waves and level 6 advantages for mid lane and jungle. This is the strongest point for GAM in the game, so I want to see if they can replicate this one. And I think Team Secret has actually come up with a draft that can prevent this from happening, because their bot lane should be the one with priority. As you can see, double range. It's very hard for them to do anything for the GAM side, and this can actually really snowball in the favor of Team Secret's bot lane, because Tahm Kench doesn't really get to farm this lane, and Senna doesn't want to farm, so who takes the gold?
Yeah, it seems like it will just be a lot of wasted gold, quite likely, because, yeah, as we could see, with the rocket spam and the karma damage, Tahm Kench just can't afford to step up. It's a pretty brutal lane out of Team Secret. I want to get your quick thoughts on a Senna bit of analysis. What do you think of the Glacial Augment versus the Grasp? Sort of the Eastern versus Western.
There is no argument here.
LPL disagrees. LPL loves Grasp.
Really? I've never seen a Grasp.
They often go the Frostfire Senna. It's lower damage, but she's super safe.
Okay. I hate the LPL now. Fair enough.
Could you tell that to Marby so he changes what he does in solo queue?
I think it is viable if your team composition can work with it. This is not a tank Senna team composition, though. This composition really needs Senna as a hyper carry, or maybe not as a hyper carry, but as the main damage dealer. And Senna, while she doesn't have the same DPS, to go back to Quincy's point, as someone like Jinx, she has more damage in the late game because no one can counterattack her. So while she already attacks you from 900 range, you can't do anything to her. But that's not as important as this incoming dive. DNK trying the GAM strategy against GAM's bot lane, sinking the bot wave with a dive, level 4, very strong full HP.
Very difficult into a Kench, though. If B can get close and just eat
style.
No,
this is...
They botched it. They got the heal, though, so I guess they got a summoner for very little investment.
Well, they denied a few souls from style as well, and DNK, to be honest, didn't really have much to do on the map. All his spawns, camps still on respawn. This is very much the SGB special. Bot lane pressure into invade.
They go to flash into the bear slap. CBL moving forward. Can they get the last bit of damage? They can! And that's one way to get ahead of the horse. Break its legs.
It's a great game plan coming in from Team Secret, offsetting GAM's biggest strength, Levi, the very likely MVP of the season. I voted for Levi myself. And he's starting off the playoffs run with another death. And Levi in playoffs, that's something we definitely have to go back, especially if this series gets spicier than we expected it to be. Because the last two game 5s and finals, he decided to go AP Shyvana. that was a fair pick, but he hinted a little bit. And then in summer, he went for the infamous Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks.
This is just one death, and he can certainly recover, but it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Sometimes the big game is Levi's bane, but on plenty of other occasions he's shown up, so just something to track. As Artifact just farming it out up against this Galio. No level 6, so these two semi-global ultimates not unlocked yet. As Levi actually will get a nice little invade here. Should be able to steal away 2 camps.
Yeah, and you can see Team Secret's bot lane already retreating from the tower. They know how GAM plays the early game. There's a teleport, please. Can we go into live?
Okay, we're getting the double replays as B is under a tower. Slater incredibly low, but somehow not actually dead. He finally goes down to style. Cardi dies on the other side. It's a 2-for-1, and the rest of GAM look to be evacuating. Thanks, observers.
Well, this is the quintessential GAM play. Off Carti's pressure in mid lane, they rotate into bot lane, use their waves to go under tower and dive. This is the #1 play that brought them ahead and that won them so many early games. By far the most impressive early game team, especially when it comes to gold difference. In objectives, it's actually close between SGB and GAM, but in gold difference, they are a whole step ahead of everyone else. They're almost 3k on average in more than 30 games, so that's super impressive.
Insane.
This dive wasn't the greatest, though. GAM actually still behind in gold after the early action, because they lost a lot of power, and now Carti kind of stuck in mid lane, because he doesn't have flash or TP. Dial should be safe.
Yep.
Just gets poked out a little bit by CBL. I like these continued invades from DNK, just continue to put pressure on the bot lane, because now they have to push out the lane again. No heal for Style, no flash for B. There might be an opportunity with Artifact hitting level 6. He might be the one to make the next counter dive happen.
Potentially, as B taking a lot of damage, this Kench still not having fun in this lane. B just hating life. Has managed to get up to 32 farm, but that's nothing special. Would love to get a center soul count, but who knows.
Yeah, it's not super important this early.
Yeah,
Let's finally take a look at this
what happened.
Interesting play. So Levi starts off with nice early... Oh, he doesn't actually know where to go. Yeah, I mean, and the dive is very... Oh, it's nicely coordinated because B knows he can tank, and then it's a pretty free kill for Style. I'm not actually sure if Carti had to come. I feel like Carti was not really needed to continue the dive. I think just go for 1 kill on Slater and keep your TP and flash on Carti. He even died for roaming down there, I should say. So now Carti in a little bit of a precarious spot. Artifact, the onus is on him to make something happen. Maybe on the other side of the map, of course, Kiaya permanently shoving in the wave and looking for ways to enable his jungler on the top side. So far, it's all about the bottom side, though, as our analysts predicted. But I want to keep my eyes on Artifact. So let's see where he goes.
It's actually quite interesting that partially it's just because the joke is quite easy, that Team Secret, TS is actually Team Slater, but I actually think they live and die by Artifact much more. If Artifact has a good game, Team Secret looks really good. If Artifact has a bad game, they look dreadful. So this is really the man you want to watch. Oftentimes, he plays to enable Slater, no question, but it really depends on how he plays, whether they actually succeed or not.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And our points over the course of the whole season agree as well. By far the highest MVP points for Artifact, not even close between him and Slater. To be fair to Slater, of course, he was subbed out for Eddie for 7 games, so not as easy to get some points there, especially because there were some wins in there as well. But still, Artifact, the linchpin, the centerpiece of this composition. Makes sense, he's in the mid lane, right? But yeah, it's all about Artifact enabling the other players, and especially DNK as well, as the main engage. So far, a very quiet game, and I'm a little bit sad to not see Artifact try anything with Carti being down on his CP and his flash. It's a little disappointing to me, but there we go. Finally.
Ooh, it's a catch as Cardi will get this all started, but DNK flashing away well. Artifact gets out of the heroic entrance. In the end, it's just a river scuffle.
Yeah, just the a little bit enhanced scuttle squabble.
VCS, most leagues, the Scuttle Scuffle is just a few abilities being thrown back and forth. The VCS Scuffle is, 8 players throwing ultimates, but no one dies.
No one died. Yeah, that's unusual. And right now, checking in for the gold, it's a pretty decent state for Team Secret. They always have to fear the style center potential in late game, but their late game is looking pretty good as well in this game. So I definitely did not expect Team Secret to look this good in the first game. And attacking bot lane, trying to isolate this matchup and trying to invest a lot into this bot lane can definitely go a long way. It should be the one weakness GAM has over Team Secret. The one thing we talked about so much in the pre-game, or pre-season even. You predicted Team Secret to end up number 1, I believe. And one of the biggest talking points was their bot lane.
I think I had them number 2. I think I had SBTC number 1.
Okay.
I'd have to check. But wrong regardless.
Yeah, Team Secret not quite as impressive as people made them out to be at the start. I think their solo laners were struggling a little bit too much for that. But now's the time to get back in form. If they can deliver today, get to finals, it's just one best of 5 against a rookie team, and Team Secret and Slater will complete another title run. That would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. Excuse me. I'm choking, sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, so for sure, Team Secret trying to do that again. They had high hopes coming into the season, and they made it to postseason. Now everything is possible. As you see, Kiaya trade very aggressively into just a brick wall.
Sorry about that. Just had a little bit of a yardo. Anyway, back in action as the Herald is summoned up.
Brutal. The man is already dead.
It's just a couple of plates going over to GAM, getting
Slowly
them
plating
back
gold to Levi,
equal
actually.
to gold. Oh, really?
Which isn't... Yeah, it wasn't the greatest usage of Herald. He wanted to not decelerate, to maybe invest a little bit more time into setup for Herald, so he just dropped it on the drive-by, and Kati didn't get close to the tower because there was the threat of DNK approaching. So in the end, just solo gold for this Hackerim. Looking at CS numbers, that's just to equalize the jungle difference. So at the moment, Levi really struggling to have any semblance of impact after his MVP-worthy regular season.
Yeah. Just to see how we go as we continue the game on. It is pretty much, pretty close to even. But we do have a lead for DNK as we do watch this dragon go down. How? Oh,
I hate this
Jinx
so
Rocket!
It's so disgusting. Can you please take the soul? Please take. Oh,
he took it. Chill. It's all right. I'm saying DNK is ahead. He is first to the chem tank. What does he need to do in this game to continue building the lead?
Honestly, at the moment, he doesn't really need to do much. Their composition looks very nice when it comes to teamfight scaling. The second dragon is a huge boon, because now they can just play around dragons, don't have to worry about anything else. And Team Secret has been a little bit sketchy in the mid-game from time to time, especially from ahead. A little bit on the weaker side when it comes to lane setup, when it comes to setting up teamfights around objectives as well. So this steal for free actually can go a long way to give Team Secret enough time to scale into the late game, to give Slater enough items to carry this game home. So DNK right now can just continue the farm and try to maybe shadow a few of the lanes to disable GAM's bread and butter play, the dive. So far, pretty happy with his first game performance, and don't think he has to really do much of anything for the rest of the game.
Fair enough. That's what every player loves to hear is, I don't have to do much. Sure. Happy to oblige. And let's just do a quick check-in, because we haven't paid attention to it at all, and nor should we, but a quick check-in with the top lane. He is a roughly 20 CS lead for Kiaya. What number does Sion start getting worried at?
In terms of CS lead for Aatrox?
Yeah.
I think that train, that ship has sailed. It's not going to be anything of concern, DNK. I'm not sure what he's trying to do.
This is a play coming in as DNK is separated but has chompers to guard him. There's a teleport coming in from the top lane.
Everyone is
the
good.
Galio as well as Artifact is caught out. He's got no hope of surviving. He goes gold, but he's in the middle of the enemy team. Slater is on the run, stunned up, and oh no! How do they do it every game?
And Team Secret, usually Team Secret is such a good team at counter TPs, at knowing when and where to counter TP. They played this game so closely on the bot lane dives. They had nice countermeasures. They played a super aggressive early game bot lane combination, and then they still fall prey to this play from GAM. Out of nowhere, we're looking at 6 kills to 2. And Coated. The camera on Coated is just the walk of shame here, because he was the only one not participating in this fight.
Yep. I actually think DNK is the mistake here. Why are you going back in?
At this point, this is still okay, I feel like. You can still retreat to the tower and try to evacuate, but then Twisted Fate commits his ultimate, and GAM just immediately collapsed on the Twisted Fate. Everyone on Team Secret tries to help when they really needed to run for their lives, and in the end, everyone dies instead. So, just bad coordination. They didn't anticipate the teleport for Kiaya. And this is now the first big lead of this best of 5.
And that is the GAM magic. That is quintessential GAM magic. They're even or even a little bit down in gold, and then suddenly the winds of the warp blow and Zinch's minions gather around the bottom tower to ensure that GAM will get 4 kills out of nowhere.
And it's always the same spot. It's always
the exact same. It is the blue side bottom tower. Every time.
So now Kiaya is a little bit of a raid boss, and here we go again.
Yeah, but that's Levi having to immediately get out. Gets yellow carded, gets Everfrosted, the Super Mega Death Rocket connects. DNK goes low, but he lives. It's gold back for Secret.
And finally we see a good play from Artifact and Team Secret, using numbers advantages with the Twisted Fate ultimate. This is just the soul count going up against the Sion, because he can't really do anything against that. It's nice to see. Sion farming up nicely, but so far hasn't had any kind of game impact. So he's hoping for some front-to-back team fights to just stand in front of Jinx and cheers later on as he gets excited and kills everyone.
And I suppose that's something to talk about is, do we think Team Secret should have opted into front-to-back?
Well, it's a little bit strange in this matchup. Team Secret has looked both very good in front-to-back and very bad in front-to-back, even in the span of the last week. When I rewatched all the games in preparation for the series, I was actually very confused on what to make of their team fighting capabilities, because they had a few games where they really got to play the Cerberus style and actually had very nice setup and very nice front-to-back, and then they had a few games where nothing worked, where the setups, the vision setup was bad, and then they just got rolled over by the enemy team, actually by BTS, for example, in the first game. So, not sure what to tell you here. I hope they've worked on this one, but we never know. We have to wait for the actual team fights to know.
I'm just looking at Slater's ult. It's not up. Oh, it's just come up. He's fired it. He did fire it.
Again. Okay, nice. Nicely done from Levi.
Well done, Levi. Actually, very good counterplay there. See, it's got counterplay. It's not broken
such
at all.
an annoying thing to have to keep in mind.
It is, but I want to talk, before we go sidetrack down the Jinx point, I actually really like what they did here. They made it take a little bit longer while Artifact was in the side lane getting tower damage.
Yeah, that's good to see. Team Secret now 2k behind. It's a Cloud Rift, which kind of makes the game less interesting for the next 5-6 minutes, because no one really cares about these dragons. I guess they are nice to have, but not really something to give up your positioning, your chance at winning this game up for. Especially looking at Slater's items right now. He's content just farming up for 5-6 more minutes, get to 2 items, get to 3 items, and then they are ready to fight.
Ooh,
Artifact, a little bit of a pickle here.
Yeah, Artifact's dead. Let's be real. He is going to get put in the ground momentarily. I'm sure that teleport, whoever that was, I think they're very happy it got stopped. Yeah. Coded got interrupted.
I believe Coded.
Yeah,
I believe Party interrupted
it. I think you... Again, very hard to... That's one of those things that you don't necessarily communicate very well in the moment, but probably let that one complete.
I think if it's anything else than a Sion, then you probably just laugh at him while he teleports
See you,
under
buddy.
the turret.
Bye.
But yeah, the sign probably stays alive here, and even playing against the zombie, if he dies under tower, is a little bit risky, so I don't hate it too much. I think there was certainly an opportunity to maybe get another kill, maybe accelerate even more into something like a tier 2 in top lane. But yeah, I don't think that this was a horrendous call or anything, so certainly something you can go for. Now they're funneling gold into Coated with this Rifthold, which I really don't like. He's tanky. He's at 190 CS, so close to 1k bonus HP. As you can see, 942 right now.
Ooh, he's in a little bit of trouble. Does not have access to the Unstoppable Onslaught. This is a dead Scion. Eventually he'll get cut down. I'm sure Star wants to farm a few souls off him before he gets to that wall. Is he going to get close enough to flash? Nope. It took a couple years, but eventually they did bring down the wall. Cleaned up the zombie as well. But GAM, they look like they're back in control.
Yeah, Team Secret just fumbling their lane assignments a little bit too much. They got caught in top lane with Artifact overextending. He could have tried to ult away maybe, or even just ult for vision and see if there's any threat after pushing the top lane. Didn't do any of that, died. Then Cyan gets the Rifthold and pushes the tower, gets the tower, but dies. That's another 300 gold funneled into the correct carry for GAM. So now that's a 3-0-4 Senna that also got to mine away all the souls from the Cyan, because very nice thing for Senna, you get souls from the zombie too. So you at least get 3 souls from that fight. Yeah. Just hitting the Cyan, which is very enjoyable. 84 right now, 85. Which for 20 minutes in a pro game is pretty good, especially in the losing lane. You can certainly score 100 in a winning lane with a good map state, but 80 is the crucial point where you get 700 range, where it really makes sense to build the butter knife, as I like to call it.
Of course you like calling it like freak.
Yeah, he now gets to step the butter. Nice.
Oh my. Yeah, I think this...
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, the Team Secret got off to that good start. The issue was none of it went to Slater. Slater didn't really benefit from that good start. So now that Secret has begun to slip back behind, he was already behind and is just slipping further.
Yeah, and I like that you bring that up, because looking at Slater's items right now, I'm not sure he went the correct way here, going for AoE damage over single target damage. You can kind of see where he's coming from. He's going to hit 4 tanky targets on the other side, but you really want to get excited, and Phantom Dancer is a really strong item right now, so a little bit unusual to see this Runance instead of Phantom Dancer's second item. I'm not sure if I like it. It's okay. He really needs another item to be effective in teamfights, though, because looking at the other side, so many tanky targets, and even though there isn't a huge amount of armor, especially on the likes of Kiaya and even Kati, they're still tanky and they still have their base armor, so they're still going to hit 100 armor. So I really want to see an LDR next. But he has to do the detour into the Executioner's Calling.
Yeah.
It's looking rough for teamfights.
To talk about sort of a sort of micro mechanical point, the issue that Slater's going to run into as well is it's almost impossible to get
no time for that.
There is absolutely no time. Why would I ever think there is? As there's the catch out, Artifact is found once again. Lady Luck is not smiling on him today, as Slater on the run might actually be able to kite it out. Nope. No, never mind. Here comes the horse. The pony gets the kill, and GAM run through another fight. Secret are just getting destroyed.
Secret, once again, not reading the play correctly. Slater way too far forward. He thought there was just the style trying to just crawl a little bit with him. Just an ADC standoff. Fair 1v1 fight, but Style just used his auto attacks to slow him down. And then all the bruisers came in. I love this composition for GAM. Very bruiser heavy. A lot of individual playmaking and agency, which is something they really excel at. They're not the best front-to-back team fighting team. That's Cerberus. Even Saigon Buffalo can be close in team fighting with the GAM, but when they have a lot of individual agency, when they get to stack CC, or
disaster.
Yeah, this is now almost over. 5k gold lead. The Senna is insanely strong. All the champs on GAM can fight for themselves. Kiaya almost level 16 as well. There's an Executioner's Calling, but I don't think it's going to do much.
Yeah, I mean, you need to be imagining some miracles for Team Secret at this point. Jinx, yeah, okay, it's a champion that can do it. She can be a miracle worker. Not with that rocket though. This Drake, again, not super important, but
No, Star, come on.
Star doesn't care. Yeah, this is just rough.
He's not a Senna main at heart. He would never leave those souls there. He's not a Senna main. Yeah, look at this. Stahl is posturing so aggressively, and they kind of get lured into the false sense of security because the ADC steps so far forward. Yeah, we don't talk about that. And then Slater, well, there are 4 bruisers in the enemy team, and he can't even kill one, so he's not going to stay alive. DNK is just a sad turtle man who just has to walk away quickly. At least he can walk away quickly. So he stays alive, looking at his team and trying to report the rest of his team, because this was certainly a little bit of a jungle diff in DNK's favor early on. Not something I would have expected coming into this series.
No.
But it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a failure of the carries in this game. Look at 0-3-1, 0-3-1. It's just a mid gap and a bot gap at the moment, and yeah, that's doomed. That's a go next, unfortunately. Again, I was saying before, Slater is on Jinx. The champion can definitely make miracles happen, but the issue he's going to run into is there is no one squishy, bar Style, but you're never killing Style right at the start of the fight. He's just too far away. So how does he get excited? There's no one that's going to try and dive into the back line, who maybe you can get a quick kill on to get your passive proc. It doesn't exist. And you know who's really fast without getting a kill? Levi. As Slater gets taken out, this is just the stomp. They've barely even taken damage. Their health bars are not even moving as Levi gets gobbled up and spat back out. The zombie coded is here, but you know, this is a bit more of a realistic zombie movie. Everyone just kind of deals with it and moves on. And that is going to be the inhib falling. I don't know if they're going to be able to end the game here without the wave, but they can certainly try.
Okay, it's gone.
That's true. We're at 26 minutes. Like the union's on the phone. The union's on the phone going, "Oi, it's in their contract. 26 minutes at a time." That's it. Then Levi needs to go have a sponge bath.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane to think about this, but they are close to their average game time already in this dominant a game. GAM is a pretty incredible team, and even from behind early on, it did not work out as they wanted it to work out early on in the game, and they still look this dominant. Team Secret has to come up with something very different. They tried the hard carry Slater comp, but honestly, this is something about Jinx. So Jinx is not the greatest champion at killing tanky targets. There are better ADCs than her at that. She's pretty good at front to back, and she can certainly outrange a lot of people and get more auto attacks in. And once she gets excited, she gets really scary. But if you never get excited, if you're just a sitting duck in the back line, Jinx is just not the way to go for a single threat composition. And right now, this is looking like a single threat composition because Artifact could have stayed at home at this point.
Yeah.
He has not done anything in this game.
Look, I don't know about you, but I feel like there might be some emotion with the way Levi's been singling out Slater. This guy takes 2 of my titles. He stops me from winning 2 splits back to back. You think I'm not going to go on him every fight? That's what it feels like to me. I feel like there's some anger. Justified anger.
It's actually absolutely insane to me to think about GAM, because they haven't won a title since summer 2019. They lost both titles in 2020, and they still stomped every single regular season, so it's really time for them to win again. It's time for Levi and Kiaya to collect their next titles, and for Kati to go 3 in a row. He's a former Flash member, so he's still in contention to defend his title. It's Kati against Slater, the last
Kiaya,
chance.
A little bit caught out, but unable to reposition. Where's Slater? Just clearing this wave. He's the one to watch at the moment. Has to find a big play.
He just doesn't have the damage. Even Senna out damages him here easily.
Oh yeah, easily.
At least he has Flash
Levi
and Heal
comes
available.
on in, but Slater has to find something to get excited about, but much like a G2 fan in the off-season, nothing is there. That is going to be him going down. Karma followed to the grave, and that is going to be the game-ending artifact shepherded to the fountain. And GAM dominating this game one. It'll end eventually once they deal with the zombie. Artifact, just preserve your KDA, what's left of it. The towers are falling, and GAM will be moving to 1-0 up as they draw first blood in a statement game in this series.
Every day killing people every single day. Yesterday was a different kind of person, but today you kill all the G2 fans. Sad.
You know I love you.
29 minutes, 40 seconds. That is quite impressive for a losing early game team. Team Secret had nothing to come back after the bot lane dive. They looked flustered, they looked confused, they had no idea where to go. And their mid laner didn't even load into the game, so they really need to find something different. This did not work, even though their early game planning looked quite good. So it's back to the drawing board, come up with a different strategy, maybe you have to put Slater on Vayne if you want to place single threat compositions. Maybe Kog'Maw is the answer. Jinx wasn't it, so let's see what happens next.
Well, we'll find out. We'll be back in about 10 minutes with the VCS English analyst desk. My name's been Everyday with me. Has been your way. We'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere.
KDA, should we show them how we do it every day? Let's get it. Kali that girl, Kali go girl, Kali gon' stop, Kali gon' skirt, Kali got a job, Kali got a word. 뜨거워 언제나 don't get burned. 넘쳐 흘러물 든 a rough bed, 죽여주잖아 like a rough bed. 누가 감히 on my hot bed, 그 문 열지 마, that's a rough day. I'm giving you more cause I'm greater than. 필요 없는 시험들 다 뿐이미. But all of my numbers are talking babe. 부르마 on message monopoly. 눈종이 돈이 나 real 필요 없대. 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it, go get it, go get it. 더 미션 눈을 못대 못해 그래 너도 그래 cause I got it different. All I ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so keep going. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it and never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like boom, boom, blow your mind. Never giving less and that's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. When I go, it's a go, get it cool, but I'm cold. I don't fit in a mold, I'm a rebel. I don't do what you say, making moves, I don't wait while I smile in your face. I got different DNA. What's higher than the top? That's me. Come take a look before falling at my feet. 조용히 몸을 숙여봐. So take a look, 나를 기억해요, queen. All I ever know is life upon the throne. 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야. You want more? No, I got it so keep going. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it and never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like boom, boom, blow your mind. Never giving less and that's how it'll stay. You know I got it like all day, all the time. Way out，感觉犹如海浪的微浪，不断往前，You'll never way down. This is how I do it every day. Wow, wow，这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间，无比的耀眼。I know you want some more，准备好就一起走，Give it need more。No, I got it so keep going. You look like you could use some more. No, I got it and never running low. Yeah, I got more than enough, set it up and away. You know I got it like boom, boom, blow your mind. Never get
Well, an absolutely insane game one, but kind of what we expected. GAM take the win. And Mabi, while we were watching that game in the background, off camera, as soon as you saw that fight at 14 minutes, 40 seconds, you instantly called it. This was the fight that determined the game.
Absolutely.
So take us through this replay.
And if you go through this replay, which should be going now, yep. This is where it all turns around. Gamma are down about 1,000 gold. They've lost 2 dragons. Actually, only about 500 gold. So they're not that far behind, but their momentum is very much against them. But the overreach from Team Secret comes on through. It looks initially bad because Levi goes in a bit too deep under the tower. But here's the crucial thing. Kiaya has teleport, Coda does not. Both mid laners are very easy to join, and then once the fight kicks off, it's 5v4. Coda can only get plates on the top side. Artifact is way too deep with his teleport in. He gets killed instantly. Kiaya has a beautiful combination to knock down the other 3 under the turret, and that swings the golds all the way back towards GAM, about 1,000 gold in the lead. Now the momentum is back in their favor. That's how you want to use your teleport advantages. Just like that. Mwah. Beautiful.
Yeah, really well played there with the teleport advantage by GAM. And also, not just the teleports, but the global presence in general. They used just way better there. I mean, Kati read Artifact like a book in this play. Kati used his Gaia ultimate on top of the Destiny from the Twisted Fate coming in. And he was just kind of stuck there in Artifact, so to say. And he didn't get any ability off in this fight. I think he was really well CC chained there. Here we also see again how Levi is coming in with the Onslaught Shadows to create a bit of disruption. And the Tam Kench makes it very easy to dive these things, and I don't think they even really needed the Tam Kench because Kiaya was just healing so much because he was dishing out so much damage with his Whirlander there, and there was just no escape from the side of Team Secret.
And a question that I do want to bring up is this was, at the end of the day, a 5v4 in favor of GAM. Do you think and I don't want to say, whether it's right or not, because I think it was very clearly a wrong decision, but do you think it is right to have this mindset of, okay, GAM are looking for a 5v3 because that's what it kind of was, or a 4v3 on the bottom side. Do you think in the future, Marby, it's better if we see Secret say, okay, if you want to go for this play, we'll go topside, we'll look to make something happen elsewhere? Or do you think it is the right decision to try to somewhat match the aggression from GAM on the bottom side of the map?
I think you can definitely try, and you need to read your ability to join collapse properly, because when you see the teleport from Kiai going down, you should know from there we will be at a disadvantage. We can bring Artifact down, but it's a Galio. Galio can also follow the Twisted Fate. So reading your things better. If Coated could join, yeah, absolutely try and match that. You technically have the lead there. You have the momentum. You should be able to take that fight and have a good chance at winning it. You should be stronger at that point in the game as well. But, of course, they didn't. So Kiai was able to get off to such a massive lead after going pretty much completely even in that top lane. And from there was basically no way back in from Team Secret without a bit more creativity, which they really just didn't show in that game.
And the third thing is, it kind of started off well for Team Secret. I mean, they had this half botch dive attempt on the bot lane third wave, I think it was, from the Udyr, from DNK, where they at least get the summoner spell, so it wasn't really that much of a botch dive anyway. They get the early mountain break, they had the Jinx rocket, steal the second break, so were some iffy moments for GAM as well there, where they maybe could went for the Soul Wincon if they don't fall behind in this mid-game team fight there at the 15-minute mark. So it wasn't all that bad for Team Secret as of the start, and if they maybe fix up the roughness there, it won't be the case in the next game where maybe they have a better chance against GAM, because that dive comp from GAM was so unstoppable after that fight went wrong.
And it almost feels to me, and I'm going to show a bit of my, I guess, nerdiness somewhat here. It almost feels a bit like a game of Go. And for anyone who knows how Go works, you have this thing called Ko, which is where you both essentially keep on doing the same thing until one of you runs out of it. And that's what you're doing when you're making a cross-map play. It's like, okay, I'm going to use teleport, and then, GAM are like, okay, well, we've got a teleport. Okay, well, we've got a Destiny. Well, that's fine because we've got a Hero's Entrance, so we've topped you. We've got more rotation abilities available to us. And I want to focus on Secret, right? Because GAM have won. So for all purposes, GAM can just do the same thing over again. But Quincy, I want to ask you, for Secret, what do they do differently? Is it take something else in the mid lane or in the top lane? Or do they want to take something that can maybe survive these dives on the bottom side better? Do they want the Tahm Kench themselves?
Maybe they do. What I want to see is like 1 point. First off, Coated has played attack for the first time in this entire year, I think. He was playing Cyan into Kiaya's Aatrox, and honestly, in the laning department, he did fine. Yes, he did fell down 20 CS, but that is like natural in this matchup. It's absolutely okay. But what I was surprised at is that Team Secret didn't really know how to really work around Coated on tanks, and Artifact had a rough game. And there's no way around it. Like, he got his signature Twisted Fate pick. He didn't really shine on it in any form. He got caught out multiple times by the GAM dive squad. And maybe you can flex the karma back to Artifact, get CBL on an engage support or the Tahm Kench, and maybe you need another pick for Coated. But honestly, concerning laning phase and the early game, he was actually fine on the Cyan.
Yeah, I
Oh
basically
no,
agree.
go on, Mubby.
Yeah, no, I basically agree. It's more proactivity in sort of the top and jungle positions. Let someone set up DNK to create more early game plays, because kind of just wander around, made a good poke their head in towards that bot lane, and then found one kill, poking his head in with CBL to pick up Levi. Then after that, just wasn't particularly useful from there. So I think a stronger lane for Kota that you can maybe try and abuse. You're on red side now, so go for that red side top lane counter pick. Set up something DNK can work alongside Kota to punish Kiaya, and try and get that sort of snowball happening into your jungler. Bring that down to your bot lane. More proactivity is what I want to see.
Okay, well, we are into picks and bans for Game 2, and I was wondering, just for a split second, would we see Thresh being left open? But nope, it has been banned away. CBL will not be able to play in Game 2 of the series either. And Quincy, going back to you then, for style, does he go on something like the Jinx, or as I think Everyday and Yulway mentioned at the end of Game 1, do they take a champion that's less reliant on being able to get that first kill of a fight, to get excited and get the bonus damage in attacks?
It's a bit of a tough call because he only played Jinx once in this split, and there's still Xayah Kai'Sa open, so he might just go for those again. What I'm a little bit disappointed in is that GAM, they don't play Seraphine, and they also banned it first time on blue side, and that's kind of what I hate when such a strong team is not able to play the strongest champion on the patch, arguably. But yeah, they already answered your question there. They go for the Senna again. I mean, why would they not? The Senna was absolutely stellar in Game 1, so might just try it again.
And Marby, how do they answer this? I was going to ask, but it looks like they're going to lock in the Kalista. So more aggression from Team Secret.
Yeah, more aggression, and that can set up a very strong pick for CBL to make something happen. Something like the Galio or the set to create plays and let things happen. There it is. That's most likely going to be in the hands of CBL. I'm very, very surprised to see junglers sort of fall down. Then no one's grabbing for that Lilia. Taking the Tahm Kench into this matchup is interesting because the Kalista can just completely ignore the shield that the Tahm Kench can put out in the 2v2. So I actually think maybe GAM probably aren't very well practiced with other center lanes because it's kind of been a late addition to the VCS. But I would have much rather seen something a bit more like a Cho'Gath or something. And wow, junglers are just falling, just really low priority.
So now we're seeing the Renekton picked up, and is this the Renekton? Is this GAM saying, okay, we think this set's going top lane, so we want the Renekton into set matchup, or is this a blind pick because the set is likely to be played by CBL paired with the Kalista in the bottom lane?
I think this is just forcing Team Secret to pick Gnar or risk or have to choose between take Gnar and nullify top lane, or you pick jungle and you get to count and you get the counter pick, but you lose your good matchup into the Renekton. So they've gone for the Gnar, and now the jungle pool pinch shouldn't be quite as effective because GAM can also respond to jungle bans with their own. Team Secret still will have first pick of jungler if they choose to go that route, being on red side, but we're seeing the jungle ban start to come out through the Gragas, and most likely along that line, well, it's an Akali actually.
And Quincy, I want to go to you because this Gragas ban really stands out to me because usually, at least for me, I always see Gragas coming through in the support role and the top role. So are you personally surprised to see this Gragas ban?
I actually am a little bit surprised, but maybe there's like the off chance that the Renekton's actually not the pick for Kiaya, but the pick for Kati here, because it's VCS. You always have top laners in the mid lane, and this is not an unusual fit, I would say. But yeah, maybe Team Secret sees it like this as well. But Gragas, there's also a slight offshoot that is actually a jungler, and Talia is of course a jungle ban as well as the Lilia, and now it's basically up for grabs to get like all the good junglers are banned, I just realized, because Heko and Udyr are also off the table, as well as the Lilia. And yeah, where do we go from there? It's a very interesting question. But I want to entertain the possibility. Yeah, there's still Olaf. And the Renekton into Gnar will probably be a fine matchup for Kiaya, I would say. And they brilliantly baited out the Gnar picks there from Team Secret, because I would assume that GAM is ready to play into Gnar. And that's maybe one of the focal points in the series, because they can do that while Team Secret cannot do it the other way around.
Oh, baby, Karthus. All right. So definitely one of Levi's specials. I am torn on Karthus. It's a good pick for Levi, but I don't think it's a particularly good pick here. I think it just doesn't have enough effect on the lanes pre-6 to really be super great for the pickup. I would have actually, he'll never believe me saying this, but I would have much preferred something a bit more ordinary, like a Nidalee or a Volley Bear. That would have been my go-to. But we've got a Karthus. It lets the double AD solo laners roll, and it's gonna be interesting to see it's gonna be good to see how they play out this Karthus.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's like the Bandit fix. They have the
I was just going to say, Quincy, sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, with this Renekton, I thought we would have seen the Nidalee, and to follow off from what Mabi was saying, we are getting this Karthus through. How well do you think the Karthus can perform into the Olaf?
Karthus into Olaf is a rough early matchup, and maybe you should take Smite Exhaust in this case. Even I saw it in some other leagues I casted there, but this is probably not the Levi way. He just avoids DNK in the first few levels, or they just have some tricks to play around it. But Karthus is a good bandit fix to make the damage a little bit easier. And GAM also have the Lovers Duo, or the others Lovers Duo, as I say, with the Lucian and the Senna, of course, in different lanes assigned here. So it's kind of a divorce combo. And Lucian vs Orianna is brutal for Orianna early, and I'm inclined to see if Artifact can somehow lose that lane gracefully, I would say.
Now, very quickly, because we are getting into game, I want both of your thoughts on the draft. We'll start with you, Marby.
I don't think the draft particularly matters. It's a much better draft from Team Secret, and realistically, I think they have a very good chance of snowballing it, but it is GAM, so...
And Quincy?
I want to quickly quote Crocklock here, because he's the Team Secret no guy. Team Secret always drafts well and then doesn't execute on it, and that's kind of what they are doing right now. Again, I think their draft is good, but they still will lose.
So, better draft will lose is what our analysts think. We mentioned the Lovers duo. Well, I think a Rakan is waiting with a certain everyday. And if we're going with the mascots, I think Yulwei is ready with his beautiful Fnatic mug. Why he has one, I don't know. But every day, and Yulwei, take us away.
What do you mean? Yulwei is the mascot?
It's not a Fnatic mug, by the way. It's a Game of Thrones mug, I believe. I was always the yellow side. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no. It's not a fanatic mark there. That does not get into my apartment.
Anyway, let's not talk about disappointing European teams. Let's talk about Vietnamese teams that aren't disappointing. They're actually very exciting.
But before we do that, I actually want to talk about the divorce duo, because I hope they've been playing a little bit.
I thought you were going to say, I want to talk about Team Secret.
No, we're still in game 2, okay? They still have a chance. No, I've been playing a lot of It Takes Two, and I hope Kati and Sal have as well, because I want to see some synergy between the two, Lucian and Senna. We haven't seen those two champs together too much, and I mean, they are not great in lane together, but maybe they can be great in team fights together later on. But take it away, Everyday. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's all good. I was about to throw it to you anyway, because this is a very different look for Team Secret compared to Game 1. I'd much prefer DNK on something like the Olaf, something that wants to take the game into his hands, than something like Udyr. And also, look at this bot lane. Pretty much the polar opposite of a Jinx Karma is a Kalista set.
True. It does the same thing, kind of, but it's very different. Which sounds weird, but yeah, they're all also just fighting for lane priority. It's a little bit harder to win trades, non-committal trades, I should say, because they don't have the range like the Jinx Karma, but then it's also easier to pin down the opponent if you happen to go for a more aggressive trade. So it's a different outlook, kind of still wants to do the same thing. You want to keep GAM under control in bot lane and deny their wave stacking into dives, which is the bread and butter play, or at least was against Cerberus, and one of the most impressive games I've ever seen, especially from a wildcard team.
Interestingly enough, though, I don't think we see as many bot dives on this side of the map from GAM.
It's true.
They normally dive the blue tower.
Yeah, so I don't think we are going to see any kind of action, because this composition is straight out of, I don't know where they got this from, but not from VCS teams, because this is just, let's farm 2-3 items and win team fights, which makes sense, because Levi...
It's a German comp, they're playing Farming Simulator.
Also very efficient, honestly,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
checks out. 2 Germans today on the show, and we get the German comp. All makes sense today.
Yeah,
No, but I want to talk about Levi Karthus a little bit, because you, of course, predicted this one. It wasn't that hard to predict, to be honest, but yeah, good job anyway. And Levi Karthus, he hasn't really played it too many times this split, but every time but every time he has still brought out the Karthus, he has looked impressive. And I think this is just a message sent to the finals opponent, to Froggy, already in game 2 of the semifinals. I'm here to take away your CS. You can't stop me. You have gotten better in CSing? Yeah, nah. I need to get the Karthus back to stop Froggy CS. So let's see if you can do it.
Ooh, style used a lot there, but I mean, yeah, Set can't do much about Tahm Kench just gobbling the center up. It's pretty easy from that one to escape the set, I should say. But Slater still doing well, farming up nicely. They're not able to punish the Tahm Kench nearly as hard as they were in game 1. It is melee support versus melee support. So he can step up and hit the farm, which he's pretty happy about.
Yeah, I'm actually very disappointed so far on this laning phase from Team Secret. I'm not really sure what their plan was coming into the game, if they don't plan on trading super aggressively. Because right now, they're just giving Senna Tahm Kench a free lane, and yeah, she's farming souls. Every time we see her on screen, she's getting a soul.
Oh, solo kill! No, not quite. Coded managing to flash away. But I think that sets the tone. That sets the tone of top lane.
Yaya was counting down the seconds to his next E. Slice and dice flash into auto attack would have been enough for another kill. Or for the first kill. But not quite. No,
down on the bottom side, though, there is the actual first blood. Now Slater has to find a way from the catfish. Can he do it? No. The flash forward will mean that CBL cannot block. So it's a 1-for-1, but a kill to an ADC.
Yeah, it's not as detrimental as it looked like in the first, when the play started, because the wave is actually getting reset for GAM, so once they get back into lane, they're going to be in a decent position again. Very nice from Levi to also go there and help.
DNK and Levi having a scrap, but Levi hitting all of the Skittles. Cardi first on the roam. There's a Dark Harvest stack. Artifact now has to deal with the fact that Illusion is bearing down on him, but he hits the 6, he gets the shockwave and forces the flash.
Not sure about forces the flash. Respect flash from
He
Kati.
pressed it.
Yeah, it's true. Not sure if he needed to. I guess he was a little bit scared that DNK would be still close enough to flash on top of him and then finish the job, because the Orianna was not close enough, in my opinion. But whatever the case, it's a very good opening from Team Secret. They get the flash out of Lucian and they pressured Levi back into his own jungle. Oh, what is DNK trying to do here? Nice dodge from
onto
Style.
Slater is here. This is a Callista. Does a lot of damage. They're
Levi
hopping forward.
6.
They really want this. They flash forward onto this DNK. He's going to trade 1-for-1. Is he?
Yes,
Yep,
he is.
there's the
Levi
final
6.
skittle.
That
Yeah,
is
Levi
scary.
is 6 as well. Callista has a lot of spears in the catfish. Hasn't actually pulled the trigger. And he will get away.
It's one of those Senna games. You need to be very careful, Team Secret, because there's still Levi's ultimate. The potential always there. No teleport for Kiaya, but Kati's already here. Okay, they're going to just back off in the end. So B collects a lot of solo experience. This is now pretty scary for Style. I've been in this situation before. When Senna gets hard focused in lane, she falls behind very far in experience because she never wants to be in lane alone to farm, right? She never wants to farm, so she never actually gets solo experience, and it doesn't really make sense to give her solo experience. So now she's pretty far behind on the level curve. Luckily for her, the catfish is pretty strong, but if she ever gets isolated or if they ever can just circumvent B, then it's gonna be scary for Style. Already 0-2. He didn't die a single time in the last game, so it's a better attempt at shutting down the Senna so far for Team Secret.
Cardi rips out the culling there just to get himself very, very advantageous lane positioning. As Artifact is shoved under tower, has to chug all of his pots to get up to a reasonable health total. And this Lucian lane bullying continues to promulgate.
It's interesting to watch Kati just stay in lane after shoving in this wave. Not something he usually goes for. No time for that though. Style gets caught. He's safe.
He's okay though.
So normally Kati, when he's on more of his roaming champions, or even on normal mid laners, he really likes to shove in the wave, go to one of the side lanes, try to dive. Shove in the next wave, go to the next, or the same most of the time, side lane and try to dive again. Not really the case. He is trying to play for lane, which has netted him a slight advantage in CS. What are we watching?
We LEC apparently? Okay. Good face breaker.
Very
That's how it got
good.
started. Perfect.
Also procs the face rush, I believe, immediately for CBL, so he was able to just keep up with Style easily. Did not expect this one. Maybe work on the overall observing quality first, but okay. Nice to see. Nice to see.
Your way, we want them to hire us. Be nice. Anyway, cool observing, and a very good play by CBL. Slater actually, I think, misplaying slightly. I don't think he needed to use his flash there. And obviously would have been able to flash away afterwards. But hey, no big deal. They still came out decently, but it is still a 1k gold lead for GAM. Coded is just... Oh, he's having a real bad time up in the top lane.
Good to see him be
25
able
CS
to
down.
step away, though. Yeah, he's very far down. He's in a pretty bad spot, but at least he doesn't die, which would be really bad for his team and for his laning phase as well. Levi level
Ooh,
8.
Hang on.
3v2.
DNK's here. Kiaya's half health, Coded with no access to the Narbar. And there's a center ult coming across. Oh no, this is an absolute disaster for Secret. They only get 1 kill back. Artifact has to find a way out. It's 2-for-1, even though Secret called the play.
Wait,
Oh,
I just realized
CBL, careful.
Levi has no ultimate. Where did he use it? When did Levi ult?
Good question. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think it was on screen, so probably just to pressure Artifact off his turret. And they still win the fight, even without Karthus ultimate, even without Karthus being focused first. They still managed to win the fight. That is very bad news for Team Secret. Yeah, this is where Levi ult was used, I believe. Yeah, looks like
Must
it.
have been. Oh, it's a kill on Artifact even.
It's actually... Oh, wow, we completely missed that. So...
Good job. Go us.
This is now a 2-kill advantage, but also a 2k gold advantage. Much more of what we expected coming into this series. And even though Team Secret has now tried to attack this Senna priority from GAM 2 times in a row with 2 different approaches, 2 very different approaches actually, hasn't really gotten them anything in these games. So might be back to the drawing board once more for another attempt in game 3. It does look rough here.
Slater gets a catch onto B. We'll be stacking up a lot of
Yes,
spears. There's the Fate's call. CBL under tower. They don't get him. But still burning the Kench Flash.
But at the same time, Artifact has to flash mid lane, so now Levi gets to just use the Herald for free first tower. Very nice rotation for GAM, using all the pressure from the enemy team in bot lane. This is a crucial shockwave to actually delay the tower. I don't think they can now push the tower. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was very
And
well
the
done.
immediate rotation into mid lane too. So that's actually a good play from Team Secret, reading the map correctly, even though they didn't get the kill in the bot lane, which was a little bit of a low percentage play anyway. They recover decently well.
And we're back up to the top lane, where Kozid continues to have the absolute worst day. Levi here making sure Kiaya is safe as a house. And, I mean, he's further behind on this Gnar than he was on a Scion. So, not the best game, let's say.
He has been getting focused way more too. And
Not
Kiaya,
necessarily his fault, but...
And to a certain extent it is. Gnar should not be down against Renekton just in the straight of 1v1. But Kiaya, of course, is the best laner in the league, and this is his most played champion of all time. So it makes sense that Kiaya is super scary, and now he might die, though.
Yeah, they're getting on top of him. This should be a dead Renekton, easy peasy. That's a shutdown for Coded.
And Kiaya not able to get coated close enough to the threshold where Levi can execute him. They were really looking at his health bar, praying for enough burst to come in from Kiaya, but not quite able to do so. Levi is a happy little Karthus, because he gets to collect another wave. I'm shoving that in for you, top laner.
Yeah,
No worries, no worries.
No
Wave is
worries,
going to
man.
reset.
Get a bounce it. Don't worry. That's totally that's totally why I'm doing it. But Levi checking in. Well, he's at 112 CS at 13 minutes. Actually, a little bit low for him. I expect 20 CS a minute out of Levi.
Oh, where's Carty wandering to?
Yeah, I mean, to put DNK in the dirt, as he flashes over, there's the center ult to finish it off, so Style earned that one, and look at Coded's health! Coded's dead!
Sad.
Just give them the trophy. Just give them the trophy.
Oh, Coded couldn't even do anything to get his Mega Bar up. He was so close to transforming, just watching in agony as the record was sung.
There's the showstopper being used. Style having to flash away. Fate's call should get this set out, but look at Slater. Yeah, I think Slater might be dying. Someone's dying, surely. CBL under tower on about 10 health, has the Haymaker, and B couldn't get the tongue down. So by the hair on their chinny chin chin, Team Secret's bot lane escape.
Well, for all viewers who just tuned in, this is not first against last. This is actually a playoffs match, a best of 5 to get to the finals. I know it doesn't look like it. There's a teleport coming in. They're trying to punish the bot lane once again. Style no mana whatsoever.
There's a counter teleport, and Levi's already here. Oh,
Look at Gnar.
Back off,
He's in the
Secret.
lead. Look at Gnar. Whew.
At least he got out of there. At least he didn't die.
Fair enough. Mini Gnar teleports are hilarious.
Hey, look, a caster creep TP'd in.
Yeah. Can we get the gold? So, Levi level 10, close to level 11. Maybe that's the time to fight right now, because he's not actually on level 11 Style.
Oh, there is a catch here as Coded. He's building up that Gnar bar, moving forward. That is an absolutely massive Gnar. Redeems his lane phase in an instant as they've picked up 3 Slater on the top side, managing to get away from Kiaya. And the worm turns. The VCS never disappoints as they're chasing down onto Kiaya. They're charging forward. They want to skin this croc. And there it is. The kill goes to Artifact. Only Levi lives. And Team Secret have made it a game.
Okay, GAM. Okay, you're not in the final, and please don't do this on the final either, because you actually want to win the title. This was just pure arrogance. There was absolutely no excuse to do this. Levi was still level off his level 11 power spike. Style was without mana, without items, because he didn't reset after the tower push and after the TP. They just went for the dragon in such a tempo disadvantage, also without resets. That was insanely disrespectful, and rightfully they get punished. Team Secret is good enough to punish these kind of things. Actually, a big strength of Team Secret. We haven't really gotten to see any strength of Team Secret, apart from maybe the early rotation in Game 1. But they are a very good team at punishing mistakes, especially oversteps, and when it comes to vision and setup around objectives. Nice miss on the cannon there, Carty. So maybe that is something they can exploit here. They're still very far behind, but at least they're in a 2-dragon lead. So there is an avenue to victory. It's pretty far away. It's a long road, but at least you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Artifact already having more impact this game than he did on the Twisted Fate, which is always good to see. Has landed some pretty good shockwaves. Coded bounced back well. So, it's always possible.
Yeah, now the items are coming in for GAM though, and Levi, he was level 10 a minute ago, now he's level 12, so he's accelerating at an insane pace, overtaking all his solo laners too. Look at them, they're level 11, he's level 12, they're looking at him like, what? This is not allowed. This is not allowed, and we have seen Levi cast this before. He is really feeling the heat right now. Luckily, he's already played his semi-final, so can try to actually store up a few CS for the final next week. Levi looking scary, looking like the main carry here. 3-0-2, an MVP-worthy performance finally after game 1. Left us a little bit disappointed in his early rotations. He was strong in team fights, very good focus, but now everything is coming together, and it's on him to perform.
On the other side of the map, we do have the main carry of Team Secret. It is Slater on this Callista, has the Immortal Shield Bow. Is sieging down onto this tower. With CBL coming in, I think they are going to go for this dive. No wave at the moment, but there's a showstopper. It should be pretty easy follow-up. The big Haymaker shield.
Later.
Center ult. Oh, no, DNK's dead. Yeah, this is
CBL, you've been said no. Way too early on the Haymaker.
When we go to a replay, can you let me call it? Because I want to point some things out.
I know what you want to point out, but yeah, of course.
No, not the late Haymaker. Not that late Haymaker. It's actually another mistake.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually
of course, take it away. You're the set main. I like to hear your thoughts about that one. But there was a super risky dive into 2 globals, and this Karthus hurts. So whenever you dive someone, especially if he has so much AoE damage like a Renekton, and they have 2 globals on their side, there's the old wisdom of attack the global. So we see once again why you should attack the global and not actually the other side of the map. Easy double kill. Now Levi's on 5-0. It's going to finish his second item very soon. Not sure what he wants to go for. And we don't get a replay, so you don't get to be colorful every day.
Unfortunate. I hope we do get one, because what I wanted to point out is that was actually Slater's fault. Slater killed 2 of his teammates there. But yeah, I'll wait for a replay. It's okay.
Executioner's Calling coming in very early once again from Style. VCS team's really doubling down on this item, it seems. This
Makes
week
sense
at least.
against Shield Bow.
Yeah, that's very good against Callista. She's a drain tank, basically. Against Olaf, it's pretty decent too. So, Kiaya, why are you here?
Good question, but he's going to get away as the rest of GAM are coming to reinforce. There's a shockwave, but only onto that Crocodile. Levi is far too terrifying for CBL to run against. So Kiaya overextends, but does not get punished.
Kiaya was led somewhere dark by his navigation system, because this was not the way to go.
Yeah, he just got told to turn left into a lake.
Yeah. It's one of those cases. Yeah, we just followed the navigation system. Couldn't use our eyes. Apparently, he couldn't use his eyes either, because that was interesting. He just had to walk into the enemy territory.
Well, speaking of which, DNK, he's been led to a dark place, and that place is hell, as husband and wife come together to kill a Viking.
Good to see. The synergy's finally building up again. Maybe they can fix the relationship in this game.
70 souls for Senna. Just want to update that.
Definitely worse than last game. She was picked on a little bit more. She actually got a lot of souls in laning phase, at least from what we could see. Maybe even more in the trades than last game, but not quite as effective after laning phase. So a little bit behind the curve right now. You really want 80 or 20 minutes to go into the high range and into a little bit more DPS with the butter knife as well. Carty, you should be fine.
Caught. I mean, no, really? You sure? That's a big boy coming in. He gets smacked into wall. He gets pounded down. And that is a kill back as GAM pick up a dragon on the other side.
And I'm really not sure if we can analyze these kinds of mistakes or just shrug them off and just say, yeah, well, it's just a lot of hubris coming in from GAM. They're not really thinking about anything anymore. They've already decided they've won the series this game. But these are very silly mistakes in the side lane. There's no way Kati doesn't know that he shouldn't be there. Kati, usually a very smart player around the map. One of the best in our
It's
league.
just a shout out to Zeros, you know, always in our hearts.
It's just this Zeros tribute.
Yeah.
Tribute.
Just
here
gotta
from
go
GAM players.
overextend in the side lane.
By the way, Levi XP check-in, level 14, still highest on his team. Highest in the game, actually.
Equal highest.
And
Thankfully,
200
it's equal.
CS. 200 CS at 21 minutes. Yep,
Insane.
that's
just-
Levi Karthus.
That's the thing. It was funny. We were sitting in the call watching the draft happen, and I'm sitting there going, it's Karthus, it's Karthus, it's Karthus. And our devs didn't bring it up because they were focused on other more valid things. And I'm just sitting there going, it's Karthus, he's going to get 10 CS a minute, and he's going to solo carry the game. Whenever GAM sets this Karthus up, you may as well not play the game. It's just going to be a Levi carry. Just give him the MVP points and move on.
It's true. Actually, not every time. Actually, I remember one game in one of the series against Flash. There were many series, so I don't know which series. Maybe even in Spring still, where Levi Karthus got off to a great start. They were actually like 4 or 5k ahead, but then Flash out-teamed for them. They kited the Karthus very effectively, and Slater was on that team. Kati was on the team too. So maybe Slater knows how to play against this very terrifying threat of Levi Karthus, getting closer and closer to level 16 as well. We have seen teams, or one
Well, there's
team
an
in Flash-
engage here. We can't see it because the scoreboard's in the way, but Coda did go for a play, didn't quite land it.
Finish my point. We have seen one team be able to counter the Karthus. Maybe Team Secret can do the same. The successes of Flash in our hearts, at least for Slater, I guess. So I think they're a little bit too far behind. Their composition also not the greatest to fight against Karthus because they're very short-ranged. The only one that can really control and stop the Karthus onslaught is Oriana, so it's all on Artifact. He needs to stop Karthus and maybe one-shot him, and then Karthus can't threaten the backline, can't really bring all his DPS.
I mean, this is so sad. DNK just has to run away from Levi. He just flashes over the wall. He's just chasing him down. The
Who
Skittles
needs
are
exhaust when he can just
ripping
flash
in.
after the Olaf?
You love to see it.
Yeah, that's how the matchup is supposed to work, by the way. The Karthus not flashing away from the Olaf. Nah. Flashing on top of the Olaf, chasing him down. Skittle after skittle after skittle. And speaking of those, they also happen to be quite useful against Baron. So let's see how fast they can take this one.
Mhm.
It's also a very healthy Baron, because
Shredding.
Senna's one of the best champions against Baron. Keeping
Yeah,
your
Coded
team
moving
healthy.
forward. Does have the Mega Nut, puts them into the wall. The center ult whips across. GAM secures the Baron, and look at this. This is called a robbery as the GAM wallets are far too full. Karthus ult comes down, puts Slater to a sliver of health. Artifact is the only man left standing. Gobbled up by B, shot down by Style for a triple kill. And I think we're going on to game 3.
What do we say in these cases? What's the professional term?
It's a shitstorm?
I think we say go next.
Go next, yep.
This one is over. Very, very over. Let's get out of here. I think it's time for a Karthus Pentakill, honestly. Let's go. Surprisingly, Karthus is not actually high up on the list of pentakilling champions. You would expect him to get those, but it's kind of hard to get all the kills with the Karthus ultimate. And then
It's
chasing
because-
down the last few targets is pretty hard on this champion that's very slow. So
It's also because a lot of the time when you get those big, like, triple kill, quadra kill Rs, you're actually dead.
true. So you
Because
actually need to finish off everyone.
the fight has played out, they've gotten low, you've died, done some graveyard Karthus stuff, and then you press R and get, like, 3.
Maybe it's time here. Professional, jungle, pentakill. VCS is known for the League of Pentakills, of course.
Nah,
we have
get-
the player
get
with the
me a
most
pentakill.
pentakills.
Get B a pentakill. Let's have a look at this replay. It is Coded diving in to get it started, but it all goes wrong.
Where's the damage? Look at this Oriana ultimate. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's just so
Where is
sad.
the damage? Yeah. I don't know.
Carty dies in the end. They get one kill on Carty, so not a perfect team fight. GAM, you need to work on those.
Yeah. Well,
25 minutes. I think the agreement has run out. They need to sign a new one because they're extending their game time. Like
maybe it's got a playoff clause. It might have a playoff clause.
Playoffs is 28 minutes?
28 minutes in playoffs. Like, we get it. It's crunch time. You know, fair enough. They get an extra 2 minutes. And then, seriously, we need to go, you know, wash Kiaya down. You know, he can't go more than 28 minutes without a nice bath.
Let's see what the MSI time is going to look like. Maybe go back to 24 minutes.
Yeah, it might be. When they're playing up against, you know, EU teams, it should be pretty easy.
Pentanet
anyway.
GG.
Oh, I mean. That should be. That'll be a fun game. Let me put it that way. Look, we're kind of just having a bit of fun because this game is about as over as a game of League of Legends gets. GAM is being very procedural, though. As I say it, they're being very procedural as B brings his scaled brethren in and they are just going under the towers. Coded will be the next one to fall as they solo him out. Carty actually goes down, Artifact helping the KDA out as they push in. They'll take the inhib and they will take game 2 momentarily.
I swear Carty's the weirdest mid lane Lucian player I've ever seen. He's playing supportive mid lane Lucian. He's just there to provide a little bit of... He's actually the first one to die every single team fight. He's just there to get attention, I guess. And he's setting up Style and Levi to carry. Levi level 17 at 27 minutes, by the way.
Absurd. What a performance out of Levi. What a performance out of GAM. They move up to 2-0 over Team Secret. And my word, I hope they show off that secret soon because they're going to need it or this is going to be a pretty quick 3-0. Oh boy, GAM is good.
So 2 Senna games, 2 very different approaches of trying to stop the Senna. We started with Enchanter, double range bot lane, and then we went into full all-in trying to hard commit to fight spot lane. Both didn't work. The second one looked worse than the first, in my opinion, especially in the laning phase. So we have to find something different. The Senna ban might be coming in for game 3. I'm excited to see at least one more game, but so far GAM is just stomping them. Let's see if Secret can change anything.
Let's see if they can. We'll be back in a few minutes with our VCS English analyst desk. Maybe they can figure out what Team Secret can do. And guys, you're not allowed to say get an early bus home. We'll be back soon. Don't go anywhere.
The unknown terror, the student
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the VCS semi-finals as GAM, well, in the words of Everyday, are shit-stomping Team Secret. They are 2-0 up. Quincy, Mabi, surely, right now, Secret have to go all out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go first. What does Secret have left in the tank? They really need to just sort of, I think, put all the eggs into the, into the coded basket. I feel going for these sort of dive top compositions are going to work out for them. They were pretty successful in their ganks up towards Kiaya, and they've managed to pick up find a bit of gold there, find him picked off in certain side lanes. So I think going all in on coded, give him a Camille, give him a Jax, give him something along those lines, and try and push through the top lane to try and get a win, because Slater, the bot lane focus isn't working. Artifact's been kind of useless, so I don't know. I think just all in on coded. He's been your best performing player so far.
Yeah, I fully agree. Maybe you could like bait GAM into picking the Gnar and then actually imagine a counter pick, like you said, maybe the Camille, maybe like a Jax. If he like gets through the laning phase, he will be very strong in the side lane and wouldn't really be stoppable by him. Or maybe Aurelia as a pick he could have prepared there, or something like a Wukong who could also like duel the minion like quite well. And you maybe need to just like shit camp Kiaya out there, so he doesn't really get into the game really well. And maybe that's your way to go, because Coded, yeah, he has been their best player. Artifact, not so much. And yeah, the skill matchup didn't really work in his favor so far.
Something else I do want to bring up is we've now seen 2 games from GAM where they've gone for the Senna Tom Ketch. And the casters kind of highlighted the fact that in game 1, they went for, the Jinx strategy against Senna Tom Ketch. Let's scale up, let's have something that can kind of match it late game. Then game 2, they went for the Kalista set. They went for okay, early game, we're going to absolutely destroy you. Now, I know I'm not an analyst, but I detect a third way against it, Quincy. And that is to ban either the Senna or the Tom Kench.
Genius. I think that is. How can you say something so controversial yet so wave? Ban out the Senna, ban out the Tom Kench. But I agree. Yeah, take the Senna out. Like, just out of principle, like, force at least, the AD carry to pick something different there, because the Senna is working way too well for them. It even, like, bailed them out a little bit when they went for the Baron play there, where I think I saw 14 HP on the Baron, and the smites were ideal from either jungler. And the Senna global ultimate is also so well played. The Daunting Shadows, like in this top lane skirmish, where like Coded was almost on the way to go Mega Gnar and turn the fight around. Kiaya went ape onto him, and together with the synced Senna ultimate, they killed him right before he could turn Mega Gnar, and thus they won the skirmishes with it. And the bot lane in general is just way too safe for GAM, and you're just making it easy for them if you give them Senna Tam Kench. So put at least one of those champions out.
Yeah, I think by a similar token, the Karthus played with the addition of the Karthus, it played very much into what the Galio did in their first game. You have some Senna Time Kench as your baseline, then one other global threat, and that means you're able to shut down or counter most of what Team Secret are doing a lot across the map. So if you remove that, they either have to index much more heavily into global comps, something like go for the Nocturne, go for the or like pull out a Shen support or something wacky like that, or you have to alongside a Twist Fair Galio, or you have to completely change your strategy, because right now GAM are just picking globals and then just countering and punishing Team Secret.
Now, Marby, you mentioned globals, and there is one global that we've talked about since the pre-game show, and it's one global that I want to see. And that is turning the lights out. That's the Nocturne. I want to see a Nocturne coming through. Marby, do you think a Nocturne could be something that could help Secret overcome GAM?
I definitely think it could. If you look back to the series they won when GAM lost 3 bans, that basically was Team Secret getting their perfect draft, and that included Camille and it included Nocturne. And those 2 picks combined together have been a really good, strong focal point that Team Secret knows how to play around, knows how to get advantages with. So I think they need to try and fall back into that. They need to pick those 2 picks in particular really early. that you could almost say these are worth your R1, R2 picks if you go back to red side. I want to see that come through from them. I want to see them play their heart out to try and claw our way back into the series, because otherwise it's just going to be a 3-0, and then you can almost predict what the matches next week are going to be.
Yeah, I would also agree on that. And Nocturne does one thing really well, and that is force some coordination from some communication off from the enemy team. And we saw in some of these skirmishes, like when there was this Drake fight where Team Secret killed the center early on, had a good team fight there, where the utility was kind of out of the way, and the damage also with the center going down early. They won this fight 4-0, got the second Drake, so there was some hope in what Team Secret has shown so far. And if they maybe make exactly that point a bit stronger by picking like Nocturne, picking Camille, then it might be at least possible for them to take one game out of GAM.
Something that I've noticed so far is this seems to be Team Secret, right? Their first game was like down here, and their second game's kind of up here. It's gone up. And for GAM, it's kind of started up here, and the second game's been here. So are we going to get in game 3 a position where they kind of switch around? Do we think that's possible? Do you think GAM are kind of going downhill? Because game 2 certainly seemed closer than game 1, Marby.
I think if anything, it's GAM just sort of having a bit of fun playing around, not really warding properly, just over pushing in the side lanes, and getting punished for it. So GAM can definitely rein it in at any time. If they end up managing to lose this game, they should turn around and smack back in game 4 with ruthless efficiency. So I think they'll be fine. They don't need to worry that much. They're just having a bit of fun with it. If they're pushed, they will turn it on and just start to smash like in game 1.
I mean, we saw Levi on the Cartus, like, he flashed into the Olaf just to chase him out, and I mean, the Baron play itself, that just kind of tells you they are having a little bit too much fun over there, and I really wouldn't assume that the level gets closer in the next game, so I would still stick to my guns and go like, it will be a 3-0 for GAM.
3-0 for GAM. Now, I noticed Yulwei doing some breathing exercises or something. He's getting ready for his cast, and I hope the members of Team Secret, I hope they've been doing their breathing exercises, because they're going to need nerves of steels for game 3 against an incredibly strong GAM, and we're heading into picks and bans. And Quincy, I really want to see that center ban.
Yeah, I really want to see the center ban. But we still start off with the silver field ban again, and I'm a little bit triggered by that. I said it last game as well, like, the best team from Vietnam cannot play the best champion, and this is just disheartening to see, so to say. And let's see if there will be a center ban, because it was first picked by GAM last time when they went on blue side. So this time, it's up to Team Secret to drop another ban, and give them a little bit of leeway there. And there it is, there's a center ban.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as to why they've gone time and time again for the studio ban. I think you can just let that be. If I swapped anything, I would have been swapping that one for the center, but we're gonna have to see where they ran out the bans. Hecarim is still technically available. But if that's banned, if that's not banned or other, I expect that to be more likely the first pick for GAM. Oh, it's the Rel. Okay, interesting choice. Interesting choice indeed. I don't think it's necessarily one that's super strong or anything that GAM's going to put a lot of high priority on, because they're more than happy to take Alistair into it. Actually, Kai'Sa.
Well, we've got the Kai'Sa. We know it's a strong pickup. And how do Team Secret want to answer? Well, for now, Quincy, it doesn't look like they're looking to match the ADC role just yet. They're looking towards the Jace.
They look towards the Jace, and Jace is something, you could play it for artifact in the mid lane, but also for coach in the top lane. I mean, Jace is like one of the strongest early game champions you can have in the top lane, and maybe that would be a tool to get a little bit of a guaranteed lead for coach against Kiaya, which is something that's very hard to pull off against Kiaya in general, since he's the best laner in the top lane in the whole Vietnamese region, I would say. But they picked the set first, which is technically a flex pick, but we have seen CBL so much on it, so I would suggest it's probably CBL's pick. And Samira is super interesting because Samira has fallen off a lot in recent patches. But I gotta say, Samira was like the trigger that made the one Team Secret series win over GAM possible back then. Not just because of the Guardian Angel bug.
No, I don't necessarily agree with. I really hate seeing Samira this early in a draft. There's so much you can just pick to completely deny her. You can pick Galio, you can pick Alistair, and then it's gone. Then your Samira is worthless as a pick. These two picks from GAM basically remove Samira from the game. She now cannot operate in team fights.
I just explained why they might pick Samira. Not that I like it, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just screaming at Hope. I'm telling you, Hope, you need to go home, rethink your life, and then hand in your resignation.
Right.
Ouch.
You've lost your team playoffs.
Ooh, strong words are coming in from Marby. We've got the Jacer to come through, which I'm going to presume is full-coated. Now, Marby, I know you were talking about how Secret should probably play around the top side of the map, how Kota has looked to be one of the strongest members of Team Secret over the course of the series. How well do you think this Jace will perform into the Renekton?
I think it'll perform about as well as all Jaces, as about 50% of Jace into Renekton matchups, probably more 60%. They get 20 CS lead and then proceed to do sod all. That's what I expect to happen. There's a lot of flexibility still on the side of GAM. Cardi can absolutely play this Renekton, so we may see a bit of shuffling the Jace around to match it. But there's just too many options available for GAM left to really know how this Jace is going to pan out and where it's going to match.
Yeah, and I think Team Secret is a little bit pincered there because GAM was banning out Lilia and Silas, which would be very common AP options for them, and you kind of have to put the Jace top lane now into the Renekton, where will probably happen what you just described. He will get like a 10 or 20 CS lead and then will be less useful than the Renekton will be. And if you would put the Jace for the mid lane, then you would probably run out of AP options. And there's the Nocturne. We did touch on it before. DNK finally gets the Nocturne. I'm up for it. But
if I'm GAM, I just answer Karthus Camille. And there's the Karthus. And so if you just lock down the Camille, you remove that buddy, that one of those pairings that goes alongside this Nocturne. There is, of course, a TF that they can go for, but if you also go Camille, you get the Camille Galio, they're just going to go with Alistair and just further delete the AD carry pick of Team Secret. Not a real thing, this is a 4v5.
and
Something that I do want to bring up. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say,
in this
Quincy,
composition-
do you think it's possible that the Jace goes mid here?
Yeah, that's your question, right?
Possible.
Because then you would put like Camille top lane, and that is a slight possibility, but you would run into a full AD comp there. And while it's not really a full tank on the side of GAM, they still have Alistair, Galio, and Necton, who aren't squishy at all. What they will do, however, is put the Kassadin in. And Kassadin likely for the mid lane. Yeah, there's no other way, basically. And this kind of rounds out the draft a little bit, but I do gotta say, how round out is the draft really, because they have no real frontman aside from a set, maybe. When the Nocturne will go like Stridebreaker Stairworks and be a little bit of beef ball, but not that much. And yeah, I could just see Levi press R in the later stage of the game, and then Team Secret just dies.
Team Secret dying is something that they have done a bit of over the course of the first two games in the series. Now, Marby, I want to get your idea for this game, because from my perspective, I feel that in games 1 and 2, Team Secret had the better draft, but as you and Quincy put it so well, they had the better draft, but they're just not the better team. Now, for game 3, I feel like Team Secret have the worst draft, so maybe now they'll be the better team.
Yeah, that is the curse of the VCS. Better draft always seems to lose, but I do not think this is going to be what happens here, because there is a worse draft, and then there is a draft where you actually just lose a champion. And that's what Team Secret has right now, so I would be very, very shocked to see them win. The only way I see it happening is the level 16 castle win.
I wouldn't put it as harsh as saying they just lost a champion, but there is a bit of a stylistic mismatch within their comp. Like the Kassadin has to scale up, the Jace has to run over the early game, and yeah, I'm not really fond of Team Secret's stuff this time. So this time, GAM has both player diff and player diff, and yeah, this is why I think it's 3-0 shutout.
Okay, well, while Team Secret have to play without one of their members until level 16, we have both of our casters online until level 16. Every day, your way, take us away.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the third game. Once again, our analysts just have too much to say. We'll go straight
My
to
music.
Our casters, of course. It's all right. We'll get it for next week.
I mean, to be fair, it's not. This series is not worthy of this music, so we're going to see it back when the games are more hype for finals, or maybe for the next few games if Secret pulls off this interesting draft that has some fascinating champions running to intriguing lanes. I don't know. This is a weird draft. This is. I actually kind of like what Team Secret has done. They tried standard 2 times in a row. They tried the Senna counter strategy. Okay. What are we trying to do?
Very aggressive. They are obviously spotted. Coded whipping in the shots.
Very nice.
Okay, Raptor into red buff. It's vertical jungling. They want to isolate the top side.
So that is interesting. An interesting decision considering everything so far has been around bot lane aggression and bot lane early action. GAM once again. Levi, where are you going? And bot lane early action. We said. There we go.
Yep. It isn't quite enough though, as it ends up just being a bit of a health trade onto the supports. No one taking lethal damage.
This is a peculiar route. This is he's trying to play Lilia without Lilia. He went Raptors into Raptors, double chicken, which on Lilia is very famous because you get there very quickly, but on Karthus you just walk over it, and it takes so much time to get there. So he's a little bit behind in his pathing, and there might be an opportunity for DNK to attack the top side afterwards. Luckily for GAM though, GAM's bot lane has full control, so DNK can't cheese invade the enemy red buff. This pathing is strange. So he's now skipping his Crux, which is surprising to me because Karthus really wants to do a full clear on cooldown. Instead, DNK cheese mid lane gang.
Ooh, yeah, they're going in. Gets the Cardi flash. The Nocturne Fear was far too threatening. Well done, getting away.
Okay, so now finally the invade comes in, and this is a pretty good invade from DNK on top side because both his top lane and after the gank, the mid lane also are winning. So DNK on the chase, you can see the question mark pings. He's trying to spot Levi, and now Levi in a world of trouble.
Yeah, he's got the Renekton coming in. Both the junglers have smite. It goes over to Levi. So he is actually just really far ahead on pathing unless DNK can chase him off this blue buff.
DNK kind of needs a kill here. He's so far behind if he doesn't get
I think a buff steal is okay.
Yeah, he would still be one camp behind though, and Coated finally here to reinforce and help him out. Coated could have just Q'd this one too to get it, or E, I should say, to get rid of the shield. Instead, wow, no, Karthus back into...
Oh no, look at CBL in the bot side. He has to put up the Haymaker shield. Incredibly low though, this bot lane not working out for Team Secret. At least early on.
A little bit of a freeze frame there as we were staring at CBL losing HP, but he's not dead, so that's good to see. GAM finally with a more aggressive bot lane, which is more what they've played most of the split. Of course, every single ADC in Vietnam has Kai'Sa as his most played champion. I believe that's even true. I'm not sure. There was just an exaggeration, but I actually think that's true.
It might be true.
Even players like Addy, who've been coming in only for 7 games, have he has 6 games on Kai'Sa. So.
Oh, hello, Artifact.
Counter gank.
There's the answer gank coming in, but Artifact wants to deal a bit of damage. Back to Levi, nothing that sticks as this Kassadin has to back off. It's a lot of early action, but no kills.
A little bit of a free-flowing early game. No one really set on a certain play. They tried different things. DNK tried to answer in top side. Now Kati does not have flash, but he gets away anyway. And both teams just kind of feeling out where and how they can attack the enemy team. Of course, Artifact on the Kassadin, we haven't seen it all split, so it's a little bit of a different feel. Now Levi in a little bit of trouble. CBL.
Yeah, CBL goes for the flash face breaker, but Levi answers quickly with a flash of his own. DNK wants to go under the tower, though, moving forward. One more chop will do it. It's first blood for Nocturne, but Style answers back, and look at this. B has arrived, and CBL is taken down by the ghost of Levi's past.
I am speechless. I think that's a tilt play. I think this is just Team Secret throwing absolutely everything they can find at the wall. Sadly, there's nothing dangerous anymore, so they're just throwing like a fork, a knife, a butter knife, exactly, and just some
I call that
tableware.
Yeah, I call that the Mabinogi. Just go full monkey and see what works.
Okay. He's having a really rough time when he's not on the cast. I'm feeling really bad for him.
Me and Marby, we love monkeys. You know who's having a really bad time, though? It's Artifact, because Artifact's dead.
Good gank timing from Levi. Level 5 Kassadin without flash. He's overextended. He can't walk up this far. Oh, there's Mabinogi on the cast right now. Well, this game once again is a little bit of a domination for GAM, a little bit of a different approach this time for both teams, but it seems like the result is the same, and he just hit level 6, so Levi is scary.
Yeah, it has potentially he's 2 levels up against DNK. 1 kill does come back onto the Kai'Sa. B flashing over the wall, but the Dragon goes to GAM. They get further into the lead.
And in the meantime, Kiaya solo kills Coated, just for good measure, because we haven't seen Kiaya at all in this game, so he needed some attention over in the top lane. Not sure what happened over there. He flashed for the kill. Coated did flash as well, so we're going to see soon. Maybe level 6 exploit. Hopefully we get a replay of that one. This play overall for Team Secret, once again, a little bit of a Hail Mary. They're already in Hail Mary mode at 7 minutes into the game. They get 1 kill for DNK, but he's so far behind in experience.
Slater, careful. Doesn't have that ally dash anymore. Have to play much safer on Samira than you used to. It's Levi. I mean, look, Levi, I hope they've got like a decent dietitian or something at the GAM house, because with all these chicken he's eating, it might be a little bit unhealthy.
So my big... Oh, never mind. Let's get the gank in first. Coated is dead.
Yep, Coated is very, very dead as Kiaya goes under tower, but it doesn't even matter. He's on the run, but yeah, you get just as punched.
Give it Kati. Okay,
no, give it to Levi.
Kati does not get to play today. He's just the servant for Levi's.
So let's see how this actually happens.
Yeah, it's a level 6. It's a level 6 disrespect. I can already see it. Look at the wave. It's stacked in favor. And now Kiaya hits level 6. He gets ultimate. Has more HP to work with. And yeah, it's just a level 6 power spike for Renekton being a little bit too strong. Disrespected by Coated there. Unfortunate.
Yep, and now we have the 2-level lead in the jungle, as is tradition. Levi very far ahead on the Karthus, but Artifact is on the move.
It's warded though, and Kati has ultimate. He's in range.
He moved forward. There. Oh no, the disaster as Nocturne arrives. Requiem coming in. Kati managing to make some distance. Can Artifact get the kill? No, the heal will stop it. And the turnaround damage stops any chase.
Slash F and another one of those.
And Coated. He's in a lot of trouble. Can he get the kill on Levi? He cannot. 5-1 on the Karthus. GAM, congratulations on making it to the finals. Can we get out of here? There is a play on the bot side, though. B looks like he will be the sacrificial lamb to this Kassadin. And they should be able to pick up style as well. So, a decent play on the bottom side for Secret.
So, one reason to go for this kind of draft to Team Secret is, well, we know GAM is going to stomp us in the early game. We also know GAM is going to overextend because they're GAM. So, let's just pick champions that snowball very quickly with gold. And maybe the Kassadin is the answer to GAM's overextensions. This first initial counterplay was really nicely done. They are slightly unfortunate with the timing there, because if DNK jumps into the Gallia ult as well, they get at least 1 more kill.
Yep.
But didn't quite work out this way. It's still the first Nocturne ultimate, and it didn't do anything. So that's really bad for the Nocturne player, of course. Then Stahl and B just trying to shuffle the wave. This is a very nice regank, but sadly it doesn't really do much. They got 2 kills back, and they're looking at a 2k gold deficit. But more importantly, they're once again looking at the 5 kills Karthus.
Yeah.
Oof.
See, the thing is, normally a 2k gold lead at 10 minutes in a GAM game, it's not actually that big a gold lead. And I know people in chat just went, what did he just say? Trust me, for GAM, it's not that big a gold lead. But when most of that gold lead is all wrapped up in Levi's Karthus, may as well be 10k.
Yeah, and they made it way harder to itemize against Karthus with the best item against Karthus being a mythic now. So I don't think you ever want to go for Aegis. No, not Aegis. How's it called again? Locket, right. Locket on someone like support
They're
set.
They're going for the play onto Kiaya. He does get feared up, but Coda just can't step forward. He's too scared of the full Fury Bar Renekton, and now a teleport's coming behind. The Requiem is being sung! Oh my god.
It is just sad to watch, honestly. It's just sad. They tried to kill Renekton. They knew this would be risky, because once again, we're playing against the Global, and the Global is the big tool here. It's the Karthus on 5 kills on 2 items, or 1 item completed, I should say. Yeah, you already have a bad taste in the mouth when you start to play. You're like, I'm not too sure about this one, maybe not. And then you commit to the play, and everything just turns dark, turns grey. And now, suddenly, we're back to a 4k gold lead. Levi level 9. Is he the highest level in the game? No, Kiaya.
No.
Oh, that's not allowed, Kiaya. That's not allowed.
Yeah,
the Karthus text is going to come to the top lane, and get it would take away a few of your incoming waves. That's illegal.
So this starts out with Coded attempting to bait Kiaya forward into DNK, but DNK throws his Q early so that he doesn't get any damage on the Renekton, because dealing the damage that would have killed the Renekton is obviously a mistake. Team Secret doesn't want to get kills.
And the funny thing is, actually, I was keeping my eyes on the bot lane and the map at the time, and GAM was setting up a dive in the bot lane, so Kati really didn't want to go for the top lane TP. He was looking at the bot lane dive, and then they just decided, well, I guess if they really want to give us 2 kills, let's just press R and the TP and go to top lane, collect the 2 free kills, and another dragon on top of that. So now everyone is super strong in GAM. Will they falter again in the mid game, or will this be a little bit of a cleaner affair? Considering they're 2-0 up in the series and it doesn't look like Team Secret has anything to fight back, this might be a little bit of a clowning for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we will see some very fun plays out of GAM in the rest of this. There might be a few that don't go so well, but they are extremely far ahead. I don't think Team Secret has a composition that is some insane late game ticking time bomb. I still don't understand this Samira pick. I truly do not understand it. And, I mean, it's Karthus on the enemy team. You don't outscale Karthus particularly easily. There's DNK coming in. Can he get the fear down? No, because he stride break it into a wall.
Well, Style is not having too much fun. The Nocturne pretty pesky. Very hard for him to get away. Is this going to be another solo kill?
Yeah, that's so easy. That is free. Oh, my word. GG, go next.
Oh, Artifact. Do you really want this? I
don't think Artifact wins. I don't think Artifact wins this. He's got a full Fury Bar. With DNK, he does. Yeah. Okay. Oh, but Kiaya just gets out.
Yeah, but they can't dive this.
Oh, no. In the mid lane, it is Cardi arriving. There with the Requiem he used. Oh, I can't even keep track of how many kills. Team Secret is just getting massacred.
This is even better than the last 2 games. GAM really putting on a show today. And inducing fear into those SGB brains. But I have to say, SGB so far completely unfazed by anything that came their way. Rookie team coming into players, outperforming everyone on their side. So I don't think SGB is going to look at this and say, well, we can't beat them. I think SGB looks at this and say, well, Team Secret inted. We would have looked at exactly the same if we were in the position of GAM. And we are confident coming into next week. 1 week from now, we have the finals. GAM against SGB, let's just say it. It's not going to change.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
Look, let's be real. At this point, it's hard to keep track of all the Team Secret deaths, because after all, 1 solo kill is a tragedy, 1 million is a statistic. And we are definitely hitting statistics in this game.
That was a really nice adaptation. That was really good. Well, so my question right now, it's a little bit of an intangible maybe, and maybe something we can discuss as the game's not super interesting anymore.
Oh,
good flash
DNK could actually kill Levi. That's pretty good. That's a lot of gold back, and they're going to try and turn the fight around onto it. But in comes Style, in comes Kati. The collapse arrives, and Team Secret have gotten garmed as they are all falling down. Artifact running forward, but I don't think you have anywhere to go, my friend, unless you can turn on to Style, and you can't. Because there's the tower, there's the kill, there's the ace.
And for once, Levi actually the one that was sacrificing for his team. Of course, he still got a kill because Team Secret just forgot about the Karthus passive there. They killed him over the wall, and then they decided to fight on top of the Karthus anyway. And Levi, was pretty happy just spamming his Qs from beyond the grave to get another kill. Now we're looking at an 8k gold difference, and I actually want to get this point in. I know GAM is going to fight soon enough, so I have to be quick. I'm not sure how seriously GAM took this serious and how serious their compositions are here. I personally don't think Karthus is that good right now. I think they're better AP junglers. I know Mabi also agrees. So I'm not sure if they're going to take the same approach into BJ and into SGB. Pretty nicely done from the.
I also think Karthus is. I know we're talking over a replay, but it's just a massacre, guys. Like, if this was a documentary, there'd just be sad music playing right now.
Can we get that up?
I don't think you want to take something like Karthus into a team like SGB, just because they're so scripted. Like, I feel like BJ just takes half your jungle away if you do that. I don't think you can. I think GAM came in and said, we have better players, our drafts are more consistent, we can just gap them, we don't need to show anything.
Yeah, and I think that's very scary coming into finals.
Oh my God.
Why are we doing this?
This is 3v2 and they're losing, by the way.
They're not losing, okay? This is not the correct term. They're getting routed. They're getting slammed. This is not losing. This is this is an FF15 if I've ever seen one.
It's only 17 minutes. I mean, look, someone's still in there. Someone still has hope. We can win. It might be CBL.
Hey, CBL.
He gets executed.
Yay.
Well done.
Good.
Easy peasy. Style jumps forward. Murders Slater.
110.
Can we broadcast this?
Well, this is worse than I expected, honestly. I thought Team Secret may... I didn't expect them to win a game. I didn't really think they had a chance, but I thought they would hang in better, grab a little bit with the early game of GAM, not completely fall apart every single game. And it's not even just early game dominance, it's just better coordination, better mechanics, of course, but that's something we expected. But then also just better team play, better rotations, better picks, you could argue.
Ooh. They're going to get a kill! They're going to get a kill without losing 3 of them.
It's worth gold again. Nah, it's hunting season. It's hunting season. Let's go.
Oh no, the Jace gold reset. It's a mistake. Absolute int out of Team Secret there. Now coded's worth gold again. Can we point out for a minute? Now, this is the VCS. We often talk about, our games have more than one combined kill per minute. It's not often that we talk about one team has more than 1 kill per minute.
I mean, to be fair, the other team doesn't really have anything to offer, so they have to do all the work themselves. It's all GAM today. They have to work for the kill count to go up and up and up. I guess you could say Team Secret is also having their part in that one. Slater, welcome to your grave again. Oh, he actually flashes away. Nicely done.
This is, well, it's a Herald being summoned up. A shame. I would have liked them to hold on to the Herald. I think you could have gotten a Shelly dance this game. But oh well, it's not going to happen. She will charge in. Because she charges twice on the towers and dies.
You just need to kill everything so she doesn't get killed by the enemies.
I mean, they're going to have to work through... I mean, the hardest thing to kill in that period of time is the towers. Not Team Secret.
19 minutes? Can they finish? They need to get their timings correct.
CBL from the backside as he goes in, tries to stop the show. DNK called in the darkness, but didn't really work out. Truly, the only darkness was in the rotting core of Levi's lich heart as he calls down the Requiem. That is going to be the Swift 3-0. Not quite sub 20 minutes, but damn close. No? As Team Secret... It's going to take more than 8 seconds to kill the Nexus. Oh, maybe. Let's find out. But regardless...
7, 8...
not sub 20. But regardless, it is GAM getting themselves into the final. SGB versus GAM will be your finals matchup for this split VCS Spring 2021. GAM is the deserving winner of this matchup. The gap between 3rd and 4th in the VCS was astronomical. Good on Team Secret for making playoffs, but that is the expected result. GAM are just too good.
Yeah, they eclipsed my expectations even for today. Everyone predicted a 3-0, but I didn't think this would be such a shitstomp, as we like to call it. And I'm super happy for B. He's one of my favorite supports, finally making a good team, making it to a good team, finally making it to the final. Everyone else here, I guess Style is also new, but the top side is very used to being in a final. They played against each other. Kiaya finally gets another chance, another shot at his second title. He has only won one title before, so that's something he really looks out for. I think today he got away with doing whatever he liked because he wasn't playing against the other royalty members, but there's Husmit is waiting in the final, and he had an insane performance yesterday. So I'm already getting hyped for SGB against GAM in a week.
And we will be going over to the VCS English analyst desk. Maybe they can break down which royalty will be copying the real ones and losing next week. As we go over to the VCS English analyst desk, get us out of here.
Thank you very much, Everyday and your way. And, well, Marby, Quincy, I mean, I said that, Secret have to come out guns blazing, and, well, they came out guns blazing. They said, okay, we either hard lose or we win, and it's just a shame that the guns were just pointing at themselves, really.
Yeah, pretty much. So there was talk in the first two games about how GAM you'd like to win at 25 minutes, and the Union clearly isn't doing its job because those games extended for too long. That last game brought the average game time of the series right back down to 26 minutes. So they've only got across the course of the series, their game time average has gotten gotten faster. Sorry, so they're doing fine for themselves. They made up for it in the end. Look, GAM just looked in a league above Team Secret, and that's more or less what we expected. It's first, fourth. It should have been a pretty one-sided matchup, but that last game was just the tank was empty from Team Secret.
Yeah, and I think our casters put it down pretty nicely there. Like, congratulations Team Secret on making playoffs, but not much more than that. And maybe we praised them once too often for their drafting, which was kind of okay to good, I would say, in the first two games. But in game 3, we just saw how vast the difference is if both player diff and draft diff comes online, because their comp, I gotta say, didn't really fit too well with each other even, and also not really well into their comp, and they gave Levi Carters, and it went from bad to worse for them. They got 20 minutes by GAM, and maybe better luck next time, I would say.
Maybe better luck next time. Honestly, I don't really know what more to say. As far as I'm concerned, that was a sub 20-minute win for GAM if they didn't mess around at the end, and that's the first sub 20-minute game that I've seen in a long time. I can't remember which one of you said it, but you said GAM had their little kind of mess around in game 2, and now they're just going to absolutely destroy Secret. And, well, there were no secrets left out there. GAM looked very, very strong. Just briefly, let's look ahead to next week before we close things out. GAM against Buffalo. What are your thoughts? I'll start with you, Quincy.
I mean, it will be closer than today, I would say, but I gotta say, GAM, of course, goes into the series as a favorite. I mean, we touched on it in the pregame. Their regular split was outstanding as always. They hadn't really had to show anything new today, so they come into tomorrow without really disadvantage. Meanwhile, the Buffalo with the Cerberus series, they showed a bit of hiccups on both sides, I would say. It wasn't 3-0 for the winning team, and they just puts GAM as the favorites. I do say though that I would not be surprised if Buffalo at least takes one game of them, maybe even 2.
Yeah,
and Marty?
I think next week's matches should be a lot closer. Even the third place match, Team Secret should have a much better time up against Cerberus. But I do think you have to look at just how dominant GAM was today and the sort of struggles that SGB did show at times against Cerberus and say GAM are the favorites, but SGB can absolutely put up a fight.
Yeah, I'm just going to say my thing. I'm a man of stats, and I'm just going to say this is not the first time GAM have looked incredibly strong and then gone on to lose in finals. And with that very an accurate a factoid, but not necessarily a statistic. Not yet, anyway. Thank you to our wonderful casters of Everyday and Yulway, as well as the wonderful desk alongside me in Marbinogi and Quincy. And of course, special love has to go out to our producer, Spoods. And we'll see you all next weekend for the third place match and finals. And until then, stay tilt-proof on the Rift, and goodbye.